2, 1. Roll for initiative. Hi, Internet. My name is Todd. We are all on here, and welcome back. This is episode 34 of, 34 of Dungeons and Dragons with a bunch of us friends and nerds sitting around here in our my new basement / living / studio. I'm excited to be here. It's a mess, so I won't pan around, but this someday we'll all play down here live, back to the live game, and hopefully some more Shadowrun at that too, because that was fun. But so let's go around the horn and meet everybody real fast, and we'll do a real fast recap. We're starting a little bit late here. Sorry about that. I had to move my car. We're doing contractor stuff, so that's what that's doing. So I'm Tom. I'm the dungeon master. I get to torture all these fools who, for some reason, keep coming back. So let's go around and meet some of the peoples. Let's go this way. Gordon.
Hey, I'm Gordon, longtime player, playing Fenris, your resident shadow sorcerer.
Shadow.
That's it.
Sorcerer. The sorcerer of shadows. All right, and while we're at it, let's do a quick other shout out to your other pet project. Not even pet now. You're doing pretty good, man. Tell us about it.
Just in my spare time, design board games, and latest one finished a Kickstarter campaign. Did well. We hit just over 60,000 US funded.
Ooh.
1,000 backers. And,
that's a whole heck a lot of money, man.
Yeah, it's all right. It's
well,
starting.
I mean, not when you're trying to start a business. That's capital, startup capital. So much. I'm looking forward to that, and I know a lot of the other people that there are, and even some of the people at this table. But that's awesome. It's too late to jump on the Kickstarter, but you probably have a website or something, right?
Yeah, it'll eventually go on retail with the publisher, Greenbrier Games.
Very cool. All right. I don't know who's next, so we'll just keep going down this list. Oh, I'm catching her mid-yawn, so I don't want to do that. So we'll go over to Darcy.
Hi everyone, I'm Darcy. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBits, DarcyYBITS. I'm playing Henrietta Pedersen, the paladin, the pacifist paladin, Elor. And I'm excited to have Todd make my character cry today. I'm excited for that. I hope that happens.
Yes. I'm just getting into character. Coming around the horn, we've got coming up next Darmita. Oh, sorry, Bella playing Darmita. How's it going, Bella? Oh, I think our internet might be doing funny things.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
now.
Sound great.
Okay. I think my internet is totally going to hell in a handbasket. I will do the best I can here. Hi, I'm Darmita, aka Bella, and I am a Gloomstalker Ranger. And yeah, I don't like where we are right now.
And a fallen Azamar,
Same.
and you are in the dream. Actually, you were in the dream. What was it again? The Cavern of Dreams or Hallway of Dreams? The resident.
Well, we're still there.
Are you? Oh, you froze again. But are you? Well, yeah, you are.
Your volume is like dipping up and down.
Mine?
Todd. I'm not sure if that's just me.
It's probably because
or
I
what.
turned my head. So when I turn this, it probably gets.
Maybe it's just a mic thing. Yeah.
All right, do let me know if I start to drop too much, and I'll try my best.
Yeah, it's always like very momentary, so it's not like. Yeah, if I just straight up can't hear you, I'll tell you. But
absolutely. All right. Did we already? We haven't met Darcy yet. We did.
We met me. We met me.
All right, then the only one we haven't seen yet is Carl.
Good day. So, my name is Carl, and I am playing Faluri. She is an Aarakocra shadow monk, and right now she's in the process of being fascinated in discovering the various histories and memories of her newly found friends.
Yes. Nobody makes friends like you do in hell. But I don't need to tell you that. We're all in the middle of a pandemic. Oh, too soon. All right, other players who couldn't make it today but are still with us in spirit and in character so far is Archibald Cunningham, the duelist rogue, played by Jay, and he's also doing our minis. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight, but he did say that he'll hopefully be back next week. So if you guys choose to go through that door and mess with Archibald, my only request is maybe we'll do that next week. And I will be playing everybody else. And of course, there's the interwebs. So internet, you can come into the chat at any point and say hello, and it
Side quests live. Said hello.
You can say hello. You can spend a plot point. You can mess with the characters. All kinds of stuff. And while we're also looking at the special options over here, we also have our resident artist is Darcy, and he does things through Darcy Bits, and he's done most of the art for us, and it's up on the stream right now. So thanks very much, Darcy. Usually I make you talk about that. We use Roll20, and that's about all I'm going to say right now, because we gotta dive in. Let's do this.
Let's go.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
You find yourselves in hell, but right now you have a bit of a reprieve. Your physical bodies are laid out in the hag's home abode at Fort Knucklebone. The holliphant nestled in the center of your circle, the hag walking back and forth, her long, tattered clothes dragging along the dry, brittle grass on which you lie. She occasionally leans down and whispers something into the sleeping faces of the people in front of her. It seems like miles away, underground. You walked your way down into the Cavern of Dreams, where you discovered a hallway filled with doors. Having investigated a handful of them, you discovered they seemed to lead to possible memories of the past, possible presents, maybe even futures. And somewhere amongst all of these, you hope to find, well, the hag hopes you find, the memories, long lost, of one Lulander, the old man who's lost most of his memory, in a desperate search to find out more about your enemy, the Eye of Pelor. So, having just left Fenris's nightmares, flashbacks, and whispers and secrets in the dark, you find yourselves in the upper balcony of the High Hall of El Terrell, just an hour before the meteorites come crashing down, before it is torn from the prime material plane and thrown into hell. Shortly after that, meteors came smashing into various parts of the city, demolishing, sundering big sections of it, lighting fires, turning the waters themselves that run through the canals into roiling flames. And the High Hall itself, you know, Henrietta, will sustain a direct hit on its governance area, where the council meets, where the living quarters of those who stay and govern and make the decisions for the for the Church of Pelor, which has been long subjugated under the will of one Lord Austrian Commander and his patron, someone called the Eye of Pelor, and their cadre of followers. Henrietta, you've just looked down from this balcony. Behind you, you can see, below you can see 40 feet down, the beautiful stone floor, the massive altars in different wings of the temple. You can see yourself standing below, watching your father walk off towards the chamber where the council meets. Behind you, you see this massive Henrietta's probably a little bit busy looking at her father, perhaps. The rest of you take in the room before it was demolished and dragged into hell, both familiar and odd at once. Behind you, the massive pipe organ, stretching up even further into the ceiling, incorporated into the actual stonework, and these massive metal pipes of the organ, beautifully carved. The scene you just saw play out before you was the final farewell of Henrietta speaking to her father, employing him to try to rein in some of the chaos wrought by those who follow the eye of Hell. I think we just lost somebody, did we?
All good.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I don't see... Okay.
I think
all right.
we lost Bella, I think.
Oh, that's what it was. And now back again. Or frozen. Looks like she's paying attention. She's doing that thing people do in Zoom meetings. You freeze it, and then you go and you make a sandwich. All right. So this sets our scene. What do you want to do?
All right. So the scene, we were watching this kind of conversation between Hen and her father. I don't think we've canonized a name for, have we?
Internet? We're gonna need a name.
I don't think we have. Oh, I know her grandfather's name's Patrick, but I don't think that her father's name has been canonized. Anyway.
And I think her great-grandfather's name was Lanik? The one who had the helm of the eye? Helm
right,
of
yeah.
Heller's sight?
Yeah, that sounds right. So we watch the scene and it sort of like, plays out, but does anything significant happen immediately, or are we just there in the balcony?
At the moment, you're undiscovered in the balcony. You managed to not fall when you were thrust into the space by the hag. You remember what happened next. You remember leaving, and in fact, as you look down, you see yourself turn, and with the help of an acolyte, who you would later come to know as Farah, the half-orc, acolyte of Heller, she guides you over towards the guest chambers on the opposite side of the high hall, where, if you remember correctly, you settled in. You racked your brain about what to do, how you could best impress that these followers of Pelor should question their own ways and their very own leader.
Okay.
You probably having
I
level.
Will say,
go ahead.
Not like to anyone in particular, just like aloud. All right, Maggie. What's this doing for you? We want to see. We want to see what the helmet showed me, don't you?
Well then, you are certainly going to need the helm. Move along. But watch out. Dreams are not always the same as memories.
And what good is that to you?
Well, expressionist. I am a bit of an expressionist. And as such, sometimes how we feel about something can be more than what actually happened.
Cool. I'm going to assume as Hen that I have some semblance of like mental control over the space, and I'm going to try to move the scene forward through the like cataclysm and to when I first picked up the helmet.
All right.
In that moment of desperation, I'm remembering like the panic of all the people, the running, the screaming, and however it came to my mind to go seek out this helmet for the answers to how to help these people. I assume that's sort of like the thought process, right? Maybe someone suggested it, maybe something I decided to do, I don't know. So probably I want to take to the moment of like sheer panic. No one knows what to do, and Hen is making that decision to go find the helmet.
Absolutely. So it plays forward almost like a film on fast forward for a little while. You all see this flashes all standing close together, and you see after a while people come and go. You see the council members kind of come in with their entourage and go upstairs. You then flash ahead to the sky starting to roil and darken, and you look up, and all of you can see through these massive stained glass windows. You can see the companion, the blessed orb of Pelor brought forth by the Eye of Pelor as a gift to the city, begins to darken, as though almost like cream and coffee, but in reverse. As the black
Can I
begins
ask about that?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off because you're like on a cool narrative thing, but like this orb showing up, is that like something people are expecting? Is that something that like
that orb has actually been
we
here
see
for
the
almost
like
60
memory of
years.
like this is it's been whoa.
Yeah, it's been a fixture of El Terrell for quite a long time. Right
I
about the
was not
time that
aware of this.
Ostrin and the Eye of Pelor rose to prominence within the organization. And after which, there was a series of miracles brought around at that point. And so people began to believe more and more in this Eye of Pelor as a divine, almost an avatar of Pelor. But of course, you know that it's different than that. And so it began to gain more and more prominence, and this thing has shone down upon the city for a very long time. And its worship had increased within the region. It became known as this pillar of faith throughout the region, and it began to gain more.
So this
and more
isn't something that is This is not something that is extremely recent. This isn't something that. So I lived here when that had been there. It wasn't.
Yeah, you remember looking.
I thought I left and I came back and it was there, or it happened because of the.
No, but over time, having been away, you did notice a slight. Maybe it's just in the memory, looking back now in the dreamscape. But you do see a change in it. It's not even before this event that's starting to rattle down. There were slight changes, little flickers of bluish lightning would occasionally lance out into the sky. There were troubling rumors of creatures in the north and all these kinds of things, and the brilliance of the companion. Yeah, people clung to it more and more, even though it started to grow a little bit dimmer in its positive influence. But now it hangs above the city, an ornament of its downfall, as it begins to crack, and a little sundering begins on one side, and these lightning arcs out from it. Do a perception check, everybody.
Okay. Is this something I don't remember that I'm just noticing from a different vantage? How would that work? It's my memory. That doesn't make sense.
Well,
whatever.
You
I'm just gonna roll it.
weren't.
I couldn't think of it too much.
You were actually in your chamber, praying and singing.
Whose
at about
memory
this
is
time.
this?
Exactly.
All right.
All right, I'm just going to fix my dice cam here so we can watch along, hopefully.
Yeah, not great.
All right, boring television, I know. We'll see.
So I'm going to try to get the Roll20 back up. I don't know if you've seen. I've been kicked out like 4 times now.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
No.
my computer has basically booted me and restarted a few times.
Okay.
It's really been weird. So I had to close down my Roll20. I'm going to open it back up.
We'll hope for the best. Okay, everybody, send good healing vibes over to her
Good
internet.
healing vibes.
Good techno vibes.
If you're
Come
low on RAM, maybe close some other programs.
I did. Yeah, I totally did. I don't know what's going on with my computer these days, but I call it COVID fatigue.
Yeah, everybody's
As
getting
long as you
fatigued.
can, get your character sheet, then that should be fine.
Worst
We
case
can do this
scenario, we
another
can
way.
run your minis
Yeah.
for you. In fact, it's just a picture at the moment anyway.
Now
Yo
did
Finn
it
said,
work?
grabbing a virtual chicken for some juicy voodoo sacrifice.
Nice. Absolutely. Nothing like the Dungeons and Dragons isn't all out about the sacrifice a chicken for the internet.
It worked a little bit. It was pretty slow, but I got a 20.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
I got
that's
a
all that
25.
matters. Yeah, 25, 20, and I think Darcy, what did you get?
I got an 11. Carl got 5.
Okay, well, the 20 and the 25 are the ones who pick it out. The sky begins to grow darker. The lightning begins to arc off of this. This time, instead of staying at the clouds, arcs down and slams into part of the city. One of the bolts actually strikes the building you're in, the tallest of the spires, which extends probably another 50 or 60 feet above where you are. The whole place just rattling, and you see this large crack down the center window of the stained glass window devoted to Pellar. Just things are beginning to happen, and almost faster than before. You see people running around in panic, people running out onto the street, looking up. You actually, for a second, catch yourself from Henrietta's vantage point as she left the guest rooms and went outside into this beautiful vestibule, which is open on one side. She's looking up past with all the other acolytes and visitors. The sky is beginning to darken, but with a strange flickering red. You then flash forward again. The landscape suddenly changes, and this immense feeling of weightless falling. Everything all at the same time, just descending. All of you losing your grip on reality for a second as everything twists sideways. The whole of El Terrell shudders. Do a dexterity saving throw, please.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, how does this physically feel, right? Because there's this
Feels like a
concept of
massive earthquake.
we know this is this weird dream thing, and stuff is moving in a way that's not physically normal, right? It's sped up.
You
or
can
slowed
remind
down or
yourself
whatever.
that it's a dream, which may or may not help.
And but
But it
we
feels
still feel that
damn
impact,
real.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Where's my sheet?
I got an 11, but does my flying help?
It does. You actually have advantage.
Okay, so screw this. I got 14. That's it.
Nice. All right. So, Gordon, what'd you get?
9.
All right. And Fenris got a 9. Valerie got 14.
20.
Darmida. Whoa,
27.
Damn. And Hen.
And got a 12.
Okay. And Archibald, please.
Oh,
We'll
sure.
be rolling for him.
Might as well do that. Okay. Character sheet, dexterity, 20.
All right. So as the whole place shudders, and for just a second you're outside on that vantage point. A second later you are back in that balcony. Some of the plaster's beginning to fall off the ceiling and rain down. There's bits of shards of glass that are now beginning to be rattled loose and torn in an almost tornado-like fashion as this massive wind blows up. Those who got over a DC 13 are going to take half damage from flying debris and or falling down. So rolled a 7, so the half of that would be a 3. So those who successfully did their saves, you only take 3 bludgeoning or piercing damage, and it's kind of both actually. And those who failed took 7 points of bludgeoning and piercing damage.
Is it? Okay, I was just gonna
Just
describe it
7
instead of
total, but
asking.
like the type is both piercing and bludgeoning.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
I have something called slow fall where I can use my reaction when I fall to reduce any falling damage by 55. But you're saying it's this piercing or bludgeoning because of the debris, right?
Yeah, it's mostly the debris and rattling.
Got it. No problem.
Although if somebody had critted, you'd be falling off that balcony again.
All right.
I'm determined to make somebody fall 40 feet to stone floor below. All right.
Yeah, I think there's this moment where Hen stumbles. She doesn't have great footing, even though she's quite strong, and she steadies herself and starts to close her eyes and almost meditatively, and tries to focus, center herself in the knowledge that this is not real, and try and keep that in her brain in such a way that if anything else happens, she might be able to deflect it mentally.
Yeah, and maybe.
But she's trying to do that preemptively to something happening.
Sure thing.
In the future,
did you
works.
successfully do your saving throw?
I
It was
failed, I got
DC
12.
13. You got a 12? So as
Yeah.
you're closing your eyes on this backline, it's not real. It's not real. Concentrate on that small, quiet thunk as a piece of plastic gives you a nice little thump on your head.
Yeah, totally. And she's trying to
Noted.
keep
And
that
and that
for the
will
next
have
time.
some effect.
Feeling how tangible it is, she's trying to focus on that for the future, basically.
Absolutely. And that I do have an idea of how that effect might play out. It's almost like a bit of a prescience, because parts of this you've seen before. You know what happened and when and the order. So at first, the shaking and the whirling winds have suddenly died down, and this oppressive heat just, the winds turn acrid and hot, and foul stench rising up around the city. You remember this moment. It didn't seem real then, and it seems any more real now. You are in hell. The first layer of hell. Avernus has fallen.
Is it super sudden, or is it we're literally watching the cruft of the earth rise and we're falling?
Well, that part was extremely sudden. It was just fallen and gone in darkness for a moment.
Right,
And then
because it's more like
whirling
teleportation.
winds.
It's not literally below
exactly.
the surface of the earth.
You are now on a different plane, but there is still the after effects and the shocks. But for the most part, it is now suddenly eerily still as the city just slowly rocks. Then you hear this massive as this huge iron wall, almost, it looks like the size of a large tower building, comes slamming up onto the side of the city, and the whole thing just rocks. And then another one.
Right.
You all look out from your vantage point up high. You can see these massive iron spikes that hold the chains that will eventually ratchet the city slowly down towards the surface of hell. It is hovering above it. The companion orb, now turned almost entirely black, hovering above the city, arcs of lightning and lashing out at various parts, hitting spires, demoing buildings as they just hit and crumble or burst into flames. Henrietta, you remember what came next. In all this chaos, it was hard to even fathom, but there was a difference. A few seconds, maybe minutes. And then, the meteors. You have about maybe 1 minute. What do you want to do?
Is the memory of me in this scene, or is this not somewhere I actually was, or am I her? If that makes sense.
You're back on the balcony. You remember
Okay.
where you were at this moment, down on the ground floor, in that
Right.
kind of vestibule area, looking out through the open archways at all of these things happen. And
Right, can I
in
see
disbelief
myself?
with the chaos. From this current vantage point, no, but you could go find yourself, or
Okay.
the council chambers are off and to the left. You could also go down and to the right to find yourself. You all remember that massive hand structure, the altar with the hand sitting in the center of the temple, almost directly below where you can look down and see that. That contains the secret door to the catacombs
Right.
below. You also know,
Okay.
bringing to mind the helm, you remember almost, it hasn't happened yet, but you remember that moment where the panic, the refugees sheltering, and you remembering the tales that your grandfather would tell you in the darkest of hours. And almost like an answer to a desperate prayer in the dark, you remember this tale, and you find yourself telling it to try and calm the people. And before you even really realize what tale you're telling, you're just desperate to try and keep these frantic people from losing their minds as they all kind of stumbled down around, some of them taking shelter in the catacombs, others taking shelter in the ruined buildings nearby. You remember helping to gather
we're
them?
watching just like very tangible, like widespread fear and panic, not this like focused sort of singular.
Absolutely. And again,
sure.
you're getting a lot of this almost in two places at once. You're standing on that balcony, and in a heartbeat, you can all return there. But if you let your mind drift, you can fast forward through what Henrietta experienced, and you can see the panic, you can see the catacombs, you can see when the demons begin to attack. You're not sure where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And then you can see that some of the devils come in, and at first the devils and the demons are actually battling each other. Then the victors would turn on the humans and the other mortals and begin to slay them or corrupt them, take them off, carry them. Literally, you remember, you get this vision of this Herzog toad-like creature just batting all of these people off the side of the cliff who had gone to check out the edge of El Terrell to see what was below.
Yep.
And batting them in the bodies, just
shouting,
scattering.
just running.
Yeah.
We
all
can see
kinds of
Hen
chaos.
like trying to basically wrestle one and yell for people to run behind her while she holds people off, but is getting like knocked aside.
At that point, strangely enough, the Herzog is a massive creature, turns and squares up against you and lifts you up by your neck. And you're dangling your feet off the ground. Even though you're massive, this thing is even bigger. At which point, this barb goes sticking into its neck as a devil flies up over the lip of the thing and just wings it, this spined devil, causing it to drop you and turn with this horrible, hideous croak, forgetting you're there and beginning to tackle this new threat. You remember running through the streets, desperately trying to lift and drag people along with you. Some of them already twisted and turned. Some of them asking for help, and then a moment later trying to stab you with this strange reddish look in their eyes, their souls already bargained away.
Focusing on this this memory, and I'm doing a little bit of sort of, because I'm still sort of interpreting this as like Hen leading us through this memory that she remembers it. And I'm doing a little bit to sort of focus on these moments of fear to, like, you know, give taste to the hag as a sort of a, you know, humoring her almost.
Sure.
But I'm trying to, touching on these pieces, you know, showing sort of the highlights here, but like trying to move forward to when eventually we get to that the helmet.
I would like you to do a wisdom check. If you're trained in
Not a save?
either religion or arcana, you can add it. Not a save.
Okay, I'll make
check.
a religion check.
Sure.
I got a 21.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
The advantage would have been a nat 20, but
Yeah, I'll take it. So at that moment, you take a deep breath and you focus and you get this pulse, this ping, like a light in the darkness, even with your eyes closed, and you can see slightly down angle. That way, you picture the helm on the statue of your grandfather in a crypt below the city. And at that moment, both you and Memory Henrietta get that same, like, know where it is. And then you kind of remember you're back with all those refugees huddled around in the ruins of an old building. And you're all there, all of you. Fenris is there, Valerie's there, Darmita's there, all kind of huddled around with the rest of these refugees that you can see. And Archibald's busy being like, well, you don't see that every day, and takes a drink. And Henrietta's halfway through this tale about her grandfather and then just drops to her knees and says, I know where it is. And then a voice calls out of the darkness that only you can hear. Only the 6 of you, or 5 of you, can pick up. Yeah, and you remember what you saw next. Don't be in such a rush, my dear. So, is it your intention to go and find the helm? Or are you going to leave that to memory?
So, yeah, I was thinking I would probably try to sort of merge with my memory and put it on as me, but like also in the same moment of the memory was my plan. But if there's like something like a beat that happens next between now and then, that's I let's see that, right? Like I don't know as a player what that is. Right?
The strange thing about dreams is sometimes the details get a little bit different. Certain things get
totally.
Exaggerated and other things minimized. You all see Henrietta speaking to you. And I need good people to come with me and find it. And then she gets some volunteers from the crowd, and all of you are amongst her. A second later, Archibald's like, right, I'm gonna stay here with these people. And you shoot him a withering glance. He's like, what? So then you next all find yourself as quietly as possible marching through the city, avoiding kind of bands of roving demons and devils. And you come upon this crumbled building landscape where there's a line of buildings along one side, a street. It looked like it was some kind of market with, apartments above and other houses scattered around behind. It's quite a built-up city along a canal. And on the far side of the canal, there is what used to be a marketplace just between the High Hall and the Grand Cemetery. And it has been just cratered by this massive meteorite, the same kind that hit part of the High Hall. And at that point, you start to move on towards the Grand Cemetery, and it's almost like your feet just hover in place. And you turn back and you look at this thing, and there's something about this pit, this meteor crash site. You don't remember it per se. You remember going around debris, and I think you encountered this. There's something about this that's a little different. What do you want to do? You're all there.
I don't remember this.
You remember seeing the meteor crash site? Do an intelligence.
I imagine there's a scene, right, where past 10 is like, all right, everyone stay close.
Yeah, you're often
like trying to
merging.
like corralling people and making sure that no one's like venturing too far off and getting like stuff. And then there's like a moment where the rest of us, so like us, can get a closer look at this meteor if we want to.
Absolutely.
That's sort of
And
the
in fact, the
understanding.
rest of the party turns and looks at you as you're standing here with this strange look on your face. There's about, let's say there's another, let's say there's another.
So yeah, I
four
want to say
people
that
with
like
you
if
dressed
that's
in
the way the
various
scene,
chainmails and such.
yeah, I want to say that if that's the way that the scene plays out, then I'll turn to everyone else and go, I never looked down there. Whatever it is, well, it's not part of my memory. So, can't imagine there's anything worth looking at. Can't possibly be real. Let's just keep up. But, you guys can do whatever you want.
Let's do a perception check.
Yeah,
Whoever wants.
I'm curious.
Yeah, I like the idea that, like, Fenris has, like, a lot more, arcane stock in what a dream can be.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is a memory, and this is not a real
Strictly
thing.
speaking,
so.
is see invisibility still up?
It
Even though
is
it's
still
been
up.
a long time. It's been hours and hours since you poured it in, but because you're doing it in fast motion, a lot of it is. We'll say you get another 20 minutes or so.
Sure. I'm going to take a look with my sight, see invisibility, like that feeling that held me as well, that all of us. I feel that there's something drawing us to that crater, so I want to take a look. I want to check it out. It's different. It might have something that could be useful. Do you want to
Meanwhile, sorry, go ahead.
What roll do you want me to make?
Investigation or perception, depends on how close you want to get.
$13.
All right. You can see these several buildings have been struck, and the fires do still flicker in a few of the adjacent areas. There's almost like a ring wall of debris rising up a good 5 feet, and then behind it is just pulverized, descending down a good 10, maybe 15 feet. You can't see the bottom of the crater from where you currently are. You're going to have to get closer if you want to get a better look. Valerie, what were you saying?
I would say with my roll, I probably just see something shiny and fly towards it, but
What did you roll?
that one.
Oh boy.
I think Valerie and I are both like, doo.
You're looking at these other people who seem to be following Hen. A couple of, like, there's an older man, probably a little bit past his prime, in a kind of used rusty chainmail. He's carrying a short sword and a wooden shield that's already cracked. He looks up at you and is like, right, the name's Britt. So who wants to control Britt, the NPC?
Britt or Brett?
Britt. Old man NPC.
How do you control it? Like,
Oh, but it's just another person you can kind of give orders to.
I've got Lulu, so
sure.
Other-
Brett.
Actually, when you think of that, Darmita, you look down and already holding your hand is the old man looking up at you. Hello.
and I just kind of give his hand a little squeeze and
Oh.
smile.
I don't think I like it here.
I definitely don't like it here.
And
We need to get through this quick.
all right, Valerie, you've got someone by the name of Callum.
Callum, not Brett, but Callum.
Callum is a 16-year-old. Well, he's probably actually more like 14. He's rail thin, wearing chainmail shirt that is way too big for him, and a sword that is way too heavy for him, a broadsword of some kind. And he has to wield it with two hands. He can't wield it with... and he's a very young man who is one of the volunteers who stepped forward, and that's how desperate Henrietta was for various competent volunteers at the time. These are, by the way, these are actually people that followed you into the Grand Cemetery to their deaths. Fenris,
Yeah.
you've got Ballot. And Internet, if you want to name our last person, Ballot is a young woman, and she seems fairly competent. Not as tough and as stocky as Hen, but she is solid, and she's wearing leather armor. She does seem to know what she's doing with the crossbow
Yo,
that she
Finn.
wields.
Said. Male or female?
You get to decide, Yofen. Does it matter? Could be neither. Could be both. What do you want?
Okay.
So these are just other people who are with us, and
Yeah, these are
theoretically,
NPCs that you can boss
we'll need
about.
to be able to.
Sure. So just curious, is the others moving along with Hen while Fenris is staying back checking out the crater then?
They're currently standing with you, and you got this very brief vision of what past Hen did, which was to skirt around, wisely avoiding this direct route to the Grand Cemetery. You remember, Hen, that you did lose one of these NPCs on that journey. However,
Yofin said, 7-foot tall human named Tiny.
all right. So who doesn't have an NPC yet?
Didn't claim anyone.
Hen and so Hen, you've got Tiny standing with you, 7-foot tall, human male, pretty big, probably used to be some kind of labor, dumb as a post, but pretty solid in a fight, wearing just a leather apron and wielding an oversized cleaver. All right.
Yeah, I think Henna's trying to like sort of not pay too much, like is trying to not think about like these other people.
Mhm.
Like she knows what happens. She thinks that it's going to play out the same, even though she's
you
been
can
told things
picture
could be
the
different.
way that all of them
She's like,
died.
I don't need to think about. I mean, I'm picturing it, but I'm also like not. You know what I'm saying? It's like
You're kind of
weird,
trying
like,
to put it out of your mind.
because I'm thinking about it. I'm trying not to actually personify these memories, right? Yeah.
So that's fine. So they all stand around, and in the past Hen had marched off that way, and you get this ghostly wisp of her and the rest of the troop going that way, but you're all standing on the edge of this thing. Fenris, there's something moving in that pit. You see coils of smoke and steam, and are you going to get any closer?
Oh, what do you mean by closer? Am I at the edge already, or am
You're
I...
probably about 10 feet back, maybe 15 feet back from the edge, and it's a pretty big crater. I mean, it extends a good 50 feet diameter.
Fenris, what do you think to get out of this? I mean, if it's not my memory, where's it coming from?
Sometimes
into the hag's mind?
Sometimes a dream is more than just a memory. And I'll walk up to try to take a closer look.
You walk up to the edge, the crunch of the melted sand around the edge of this from the force of the impact, the crunch of broken stone and cobblestone under your feet. You get to the edge and you look down and you see this meteor. At first it almost looks like a standard rock, still glowing warm and almost reddish from the heat of the fall. But wait. It's reddish from what it's coated in. You see this sloughing off liquid, which is starting to ooze out from this, as though the inside has been filled with this, or it's been drenched in this horrible reddish liquid, very much like blood, but steaming hot. You see a fissure just inch open a little bit more at the front end of this, and these long fingers begin to poke out through the cracks in the fissure. It's now about a foot wide, and it begins to... The whole thing cracks like an overrotten egg and begins to just gloop out this reddish liquid. And then a few large chunks. And then the chunks unravel, and you see these quasits stand up. And they begin scuttering off to different directions. A heartbeat later, you see this larger hand come, the hand that pried it open, push it open a little bit more, and the meteorite cracks open. And out steps this gnarled, twisted, humanoid figure. What do you want to do? You're all about 10 feet back, and you can all hear this, but you can't all see it.
I'm gonna kind of look to Fenris based on our last experience and just be like, do we destroy this thing or do we just keep going? Will it matter?
In the last dream, I learned something I never knew before. The shade and what he said, and I repeat the phrase that he spoke, Des Dusa Rito, very softly. And I know that I felt something with it. This is not just a memory. These dreams can unlock things within ourselves and also potentially in our own memories that we didn't know before. So that pull we all felt could be a trap, but it could be something to help us.
Then we kill it.
Ah, yes. Clever boy. Clever boy. The voice of the hag drifts out of the dark. This thing that's in the crater stands up. It is huge. I mean that literally. It is this massive, twisted, demonic body stretching out. It is, it ain't pretty. And it, you see now that this meteor has bits of fur and flesh and bone. But that reddish liquid was blood, and it came hurtling down and dashed itself into the city and died in the assault. But within it, these other demonic creatures begin to pile out from within. You find yourselves facing some of the demon hordes that flung themselves at the city on its arrival in an attempt to take it before the devils could claim it. All right. What do you want to do? This thing is taking stock. It's got about, hold on, I gotta look this up.
Do I know what it is?
Do an Arcana check for me.
Nine. I don't know what it is. Like, ooh, never seen this before.
This is a new one. That's not a bad thing, is it? Okay. So at that moment, several other demons start piling out of this thing, one after another, sloughing off through the broken body of this fallen, strange demonic creature. They begin pooling out. You will have the drop on them. They haven't seen you yet. But when we return, if you want a shot at them, you can. I'm just going to take a quick little break. We'll come back, and we'll see what you do with this demon egg. All right, so we'll be back in... I'm trying to honor the breaks a little bit more, so what do you want, guys? 5 minutes? 10 minutes?
10 minutes, I'll get to let the dog in.
That's fair. Okay, so we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Internet, think up something nasty for a plot point for these people. They're facing demons in hell. You might as well, right? And I will return, and we'll roll some dice when we come back. All right.
Is a demonic egg not, bad enough and evil enough?
Yeah, but what's in the egg?
Does it look like a bird egg?
It does not. It looks like a twisted, broken corpse of like an over-rotund, massive dog that burst on impact.
Thank goodness I don't have to shed affection.
Wow.
All right, I'll be back.
Hey, I made Bella cringe. All right, I've done my job. Okay, we'll be back in a bit. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Nightmares. We are back. Hey, so we're just coming back off break. I'm hoping I should probably shut those wolves up. I think it just keeps howling.
And a lot of crackles from me. I'm not sure what's up with that.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Thank you for giving me that heads up. Let's see if I can fix that. Interwebs.
It's a little popping. It's not just when you're talking. Odd.
Is it still there?
Ooh, that's worse.
Oh. Oh dear. Alright, might need to do a quick little restart.
Might be part of the background music as opposed to the mic, maybe? I'm not sure.
I can hit the next sound. Still worse?
Better.
Maybe
Try
it's
saying
that.
something. Yeah, I think that's probably it.
Test,
Yeah.
test, 1, 2. Testing. 1, 2. 1.
It's good.
Alright. Check, check, check. Abandon all hope, all ye who enter here. I love that one. Alright, so we're back. You guys are have the drop as you look out. Fenris looking back, locking eyes with Darmida as she asks him what's going on. Below you are a cadre of demons. There's some smaller ones and some larger ones stepping out of this filthy, awful, broken demon egg. The blood that was part of it is also drying with this strange shimmer to it. All of them seem covered in almost this toxic glitter. Shout out to Yalfen, man. And they hiss on and they howl, and you see them scoop it up off the ground and like slather themselves in it, snorting it, chewing it, sometimes even ripping off their own finger as they're just partaking in the blood of their fallen egg-like comrade, howling up at the sky. They are totally distracted by their own like weird.
How big is the egg, and how are they centered around it?
They are centered around it. It is gargantuan. I mean that in game terms. So it is absolutely ridiculous. It at one point had was almost fish-like, and it was somehow flung out of the river Styx. It's called I'm gonna mess this up. Kroketotek.
Okay.
Sometimes used for transport of smaller demons through the Styx's terrible waters.
I'm gonna
It's
just
dead.
fix a. I'm gonna fix a point. The center of mass of the massing bodies. So they're 50 feet down. You said yes.
It's a 50-foot diameter hole.
Okay.
They're about 15 feet down, and the
Okay.
center is largely taken up with rubble, rocks, and this massive broken demon body egg thing. And there are four medium-sized demons with these long goat-like heads and huge horns that stick off at the side, and this massive strange beard, like naked with long curling tails flacking back and forth, and those are these boils on their faces, the clear sickening white eyes. You can see these are the ones that are being driven into a frenzy by this toxic glitter.
Okay. So there's 4 of them. You said, and that they're
There's 4 of
relatively-
those medium ones. Those are
Okay.
the goat-like creatures. And at this point, you see this other strange thing kind of pushing its head through the side of the body, not where the opening already was, and it just pulses out. It's a large-sized pulse in the side of this thing, like a boil about to burst. You also see several smaller dretches, small fiends, like padding around, almost like a cross between a monkey, like an ape of some kind, but small, and some kind of weird Chihuahua dog. Kind of, sort of picture the thing from Ghostbusters. You know, the first one? Zoor. A little bit like that, but more like you melted them in a microwave too long. Those are dretches, and there's a number of those, but those are, there's probably about, let's say, maybe 6 of those. And there is the, you didn't get a great Arcana check there, so unfortunately you don't know the,
No.
you recognize the dretches, like they make stories about these things.
Yeah, if anyone knows about this stuff, it's probably Darmida.
Oh, that's true. Darmida, go ahead and
Yeah.
do a check of some kind with advantage. A background check.
So,
Survival, maybe?
I was gonna say, so it'd be either investigation, survival, or perception.
Could be Arcana, could be religion, could be survival. It wouldn't normally be survival, but because they are your fiends are your favorite,
Favored.
you would get it under survival, and you'd get it with advantage.
Okay.
You get dretches for free.
17.
17. You can tell that the other goat-like creatures are called Bulizo. They're horned demons that lash out with their foes with spiny tails. They're violent in the extreme. They gather in scrabbling mobs, wrestling and fighting amongst themselves. Demon lords use them as foot soldiers, undisciplined army soldiers. Disfigured ailments, crusted eyes, maggots wriggling with open swords. All good stuff. Okay.
Of them, I'm trying to think if that, because I have the feature, just looking at it, I guess, yeah, it just says I can recall information, so I'm assuming that's the information I can recall.
You also at that point see the biggest thing that comes crawling out of them, out of that thing, is a Hezru, and there's only one of those.
No.
Which is a large. I don't know if I have the descriptor for it. Do I? The Hezru is the one that you saw before. It's like a large, spiked red toad with this massive tooth-lined maw, its stub nose and oversized hands. It is a demon. It is large. It is a bit of a challenge. It is probably the most challenging on the field. Hezru serve as foot soldiers in the demonic hordes of the Abyss. Although physically powerful, they're weak-minded and can be easily duped into sacrificing themselves for more powerful demons. As they press their attacks into the heart of the enemy forces, their foul stench can sicken even the toughest foes.
So in the immediate moment, right, we're seeing these things sort of go in this little frenzy, but they're not really doing anything. We have time to
You have time to plan and talk, yeah.
So while we're sitting there,
Darmida, as part of that check, you also hear them, and you hear them muttering and howling something, and they say, "We shall find." Hold on, I'll do the voice. How about the voice?
Find the shard, break it, eat it, take them all. Eat it. Baphomet must be brought forth.
Okay, I didn't get much of that.
You did catch Baphomet, right? I mean,
Yep.
Darmida certainly did.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Demita did. Bella didn't understand much.
I heard
It
one
is
thing, and it was Baphomet.
Yeah,
It's a big deal.
essentially they're searching for something they call the shard, and they want to join with it, and it is, and they want to bring Baphomet forth. Baphomet was the demon that.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Hold on, my camera's got all wonky wonk. I don't know what's going
I
on
wasn't looking
now.
at the stream.
Yeah, sorry about that. But anyway, keep going. I'll fix that in post.
So,
No.
yeah, Darmida would just kind of step back a little bit, and she's going to, because she knows these are pretty nasty, she'll let everybody know, and then she is going to use her helping hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're still injured from the last battle.
I'm incredibly injured.
Yeah, I saw in chat you post the.
I already
heal.
did.
Did you do that? Yeah.
I did do a heal, but it didn't help me much.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that actually happened or if you were just posting the
No.
description.
Yeah, no, I actually was trying to heal myself. I'm still I just came back up over half, barely.
Ooh, yeah, you got hit pretty hard in that last fight.
Yeah. So she will definitely try to give herself a little something, knowing that these are kind of, and then she will tell everybody these are very, very nasty. If you don't have to, don't get up close. I don't
I
think.
think I'll probably look back. Oh, I'm sorry. What was the last thing you said?
Oh, I just said I don't think we'll have a choice, but you know.
Yeah, I'll respond to that as like, we don't have to do this fight at all. It's like you're just looking for a fight. I'm not gonna stop you though. Doesn't matter one way or the other. I just kind of like, rest my shield, but I'm not like drawing a weapon. I'm just standing there, watching you.
I kind of see that Darmida is wounded. I say, well, maybe you can give her some of your healing. And I just kind of and I'd say that I look back, and so the biggest thing is is what, a Hezru you said?
Yeah, the frog-like massive. Yeah.
And is anything centered around it? Like, are the others close by, or is it on its own?
It's a little bit. It's about 5 feet away from the rest of the others, and they're all kind of drumming themselves into a frenzy in the middle. There's a handful of closets too, but those generally scuttle out of there like cockroaches.
And what were the goat things? Are they nearby to the Hezru?
They're right
Like
in the
5 feet
middle
away?
of this the cluster.
Bullzu.
Yeah, Bullzu.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Confusion. 10-foot radius.
All right. So you're going to be casting Confusion. Darmida did a little bit of healing. Henrietta's wondering why you're getting mixed up in this. Archibald's like, all right, well, let's do this. And he takes his wig off and tucks it in his belt.
I
Valerie.
am going to be readying something in case it comes up. I know what it is. Don't.
Okay. And Valerie, what are you going to do?
What's the light situation like?
It's considered dim light.
All right, well, I'm gonna hold fast until people decide what the heck we're doing, because if this is a necessity, then yes, I'll throw myself in. If not, then I'll just stand by. So I'll just use my action and go invisible.
All right. You fade from view. Fenris, your spell goes off. Confusion rains down. What's the DC?
DC 17 Wisdom save.
And you're going to be able to catch all of them in that radius. Wait, 10-foot radius?
10-foot radius, so 20-foot diameter.
There's going to be one Bullzu that's not in that, but everything else... sorry, a Bullzu and a Dretch that are not within that, but everybody else is, because they're piled in together. Trying to be all a strange ritual. All right, so that's going to be... And... So I need to do... I'm doing some quick math. 9 rolls here. Okay, fail, fail. Natural 20. Fail. Natural 18. So 2 of them saved. And fail, 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 and fail. Let me just double check something. The Hezru has magic resistance. I'll roll again for them. That is a fail. So, all of them but 2 fail. Oh, sorry, all but 3 failed. 2 of the Dretches and 1 of the Bullzoos. All right, so they are... It was confusion, yes?
Yeah, they are confused.
All right, they are confused, and as Fenris pops up over the edge and releases this spell, tendrils of shadow energy kind of lancing out from his fingertips, encompassing that whole area. The whole area is confused, and they are now aware of his presence.
Hey Todd, do we have a map for this, or is it...
I don't yet. I could throw just a generic map for you. Let's go back to the generic map. You guys...
It'd be just a bit better visual than using my imagination.
What? Imagination? All right, let me pull this up on stream so we can...
What can I say? I'm a visual guy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And if you like the visuals,
Just
you can
best
watch our
imagination.
visual feed on YouTube. If you prefer just to listen to the story, you can do that on the podcast. Hey, shout out to Great Britain and Germany, by the way. We've been getting some love from them, although I think they're probably waiting for more Shadowrun. Henrietta, you'll be a little further back from Fenris. Fenris is right up at the edge, and I'm just going to draw real quick. The edge of the crater will be orange. It's jagged because those skills are jagged, and it
There's a
extends
circle
off that
tool,
way.
by the way. if you
Shush.
wanted it. This
That's
is more realistic. It's not going to be,
yeah, it's more of a
geometric.
scar in the landscape. I like it. I'll take that. And then there's the body of the thing, which fills. I mean, it's not entirely whole either. And then inside of that, we've got a handful of nasty baddies. So let me just grab a couple of those. This is entirely to scale, and if you tell me otherwise, I'm going to be bad. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
that's-
Yeah, that works. Hey, I actually have the correct things for a change, except that's too small. 1 sec. Don't have the burzus, but we're gonna go with these guys instead. They don't have spears, but that's medium. Sure, we'll leave those, and this guy needs to be bigger. Good enough.
Oh, that's a bit bigger.
Yeah.
All right.
I've got to, of course, get the multiples here. So as I said, there are several, 6 stretches in all. One of them outside of the radius, several of them around, clustered up together in their strange, violent, disgusting orgy of toxic glitter. Thinking of you there, Yaofen. I'll always think of Yaofen and his toxic glitter pool. All right, so all of those are clustered down in this pit. I think that's the right count. All right.
Okay.
I'll
So
eventually
after
mark
casting,
one's confusion, but
yeah, I am now going to back off.
why?
Yeah.
All
They
right.
are all like grouped over here. We probably would be more in line with that than off the edge.
Well, I started off the edge, right? And I casted my spell, and now I'm moving.
Yeah, I was just saying I expect you'd be more here than here, but that's all. Doesn't matter now. You
Doesn't matter now.
Yeah, it's all good. All right, let's roll initiative, shall we? Let's maybe do this right.
Sure.
Initiative. A paltry 17.
All right, so just a paltry 17 with Valerie. That is, I suppose, a little slow for an Akrokra monk.
Not the best.
Archie got 16.
Mhm.
What else did people get?
9.
23.
Keep writing your name Gordon instead of Fenris. I'm sorry. 23 for Darmida?
Mm-hmm.
Of course she did. Okay. And is that everybody? Missing Hen.
11.
All right, so let's resolve that surprise round. So Valerie bops to invisibility. You are invisible. Archibald draws his 2 weapons. He's using the hilt of the longsword like a dagger. It's got a little stubby blade on it, and when he activates it, it becomes the Sunblade. So that's in his left hand, and then his other hand is his standard rapier. Darmida, you've got your bow at the ready, and Fenris just cast. And Henrietta, what do you want to be doing to get
So
yourself?
I said that I was holding an action, but I'm not like
You're not
motioning
triggering
that
it yet.
getting involved. I'm just standing here being like, this is dumb. But yeah, probably Archie. Like, if there is that sort of moment before we rolled initiative where people were doing stuff, probably the Sunblade is out, I'd imagine.
All right. And is he going to turn it on right now or keep it handy?
Yeah, I mean, if you can turn it on beforehand, that's better, because then he can engage and disengage.
All right. So I'm just going to do... I don't know if this works, so we'll try. Did anything happen?
Doing all right.
Nothing happened. Why did it not happen? I was trying to make him glow. Didn't work.
Yeah, those are all weird.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's actually a light thing, then that's based on dynamic lighting, so you wouldn't see it anyway, because all the light is...
It's all
light
messed up
everywhere.
anyway. All right, so
Otherwise, an aura only can be seen by a controlling player, so unless they're in everyone's journal, probably no one can see that but me.
Yeah,
I
that's
see
fair.
it.
But
Yeah,
10
okay,
feet out
cool.
from
Nice.
Archibald, you see this glowing light. It's either on the lowest setting too. And he's just like, and the sunblade extends out of this. It looks like a broken blade at glance, but it's actually very ornately carved, and so it extends out from there. This brilliant sunlight blade, and it just lights up. It's bright light within 10 feet and emits dimmer light outside of that for another 10, and that's kind of the lowest setting. So Darmida, you actually would be visible now. Valerie is
It's 10 and then 10, yeah.
just outside.
I mean, he can stand further away.
Yeah.
That's like marching order.
Yeah. All right, so he readies that. Okay. Any other
Can I-
actions? Yeah.
Can I look at Fenris and just kind of be like, are we doing this? Yes or no?
Yes.
All right, then. Well, then we know what Dormita's doing.
All right. Go ahead and take your pass. What do you
No,
want to
shit gets real when she puts her glasses on.
do?
You know, gotta be able to read. So, first of all, she's gonna step out of the light there.
Yeah, I think RG could be moved back instead of you going out. The positioning's like loose because we just dropped onto a map. But whichever.
Okay, like, oh yeah, I'm plenty of distance.
Yeah, you got a bow. You
Now, for line of sight,
effectively have
you
infinite
can
range.
shoot the Hezru in the head, but the shorter, smaller creatures, you're going to have to get probably another 5 feet closer for the medium-sized things. That's the Bulzuls. And you're
Okay.
going to need to get within 5 feet of the lip of that to be able to target the small things down at the bottom of the crater.
Out the Hezru.
Huh?
Take out the Hezru.
Oh, I am. That's why I measured it. So I've still got my hunter's mark up.
Yep.
Lasts for 8 hours, and I know we're in kind of wonky time thingy.
Yeah, it's
But-
still up. And see invisibility's still up. That's still up.
Yeah, and he's on this. I'm gonna put it on him
Absolutely.
and take my 3 shots.
Go for it.
First one,
That's a 15.
yeah.
That, I will say this. Can you retroactively quickly do a stealth check for me?
Is she literally in darkness?
Yeah. So you would have advantage on this. They know something's out there because the spell just went off. They're not really
Yeah.
sure what. You didn't cast it subtly, so I don't think you said that, right?
I did not cast it subtly.
So-
I'm saving my points.
Yeah, that's fair. But they
I-
did, however, know something's up.
Sorry, I did sleight of hand. It should have 4 more to it.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's 26.
26, yeah.
Yeah, on both of the rolls. So yeah, they don't see you coming, so you have advantage on that first shot.
Okay.
Just the first one, though.
Okay.
Rogue-like, in a way.
Right, so we can see them from like the ambience of the meteor crash, but we're actually in darkness.
Yeah, it's actually glowing slightly red at the bottom.
Yeah, your
And
mic
they've
is
got the
really odd
glitter
today,
on.
Todd. I don't know.
Hmm?
Your volume is surprisingly inconsistent for some reason.
Partly because... Oh, hey, that's not right. How about now?
Yep.
Back to
For
normal.
some reason, it just dropped on me. I don't know why. All right, there we go. Okay, so, yep, the 17 with the advantage. It wasn't much more, but it is enough. You hit.
All right, so that's the first one. I'm gonna resolve all of these first. 29.
That hits.
That's more like Darmida.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah, like what the hell? And then 26. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
so all three hit. Doing
so
29.
29 so far, and you do have some Hunter's Mark damage to add to that.
I've got Hunter's Mark, and
Ooh,
I've got oof.
not a lot of love there with 2 1s, but, you know, 6 more.
Oh my god, really?
Ooh, that's a lot of 1s, even on that extra d8. So, that's
36.
29, 36.
Yeah.
All right, so you definitely 3 arrows. A couple of the arrows dig in at only just at the base of some of the spines. One of them takes it just below the jaw. Another one hits its bicep, and the whole thing shudders and looks up. It sees you now.
That's just shit for Darmida. Like normally her 3 rolls is like a 70-something average.
Absolutely. All right, coming up next, Valerie.
All right, so we're going after
Hezru
this.
just lets out this. Yep, Valerie.
Hezru. All right, you guys want me to go in close to this guy or to the guys in the back?
Take it out.
All right, so I'll use my shadow step and go right up to him as a bonus action, and then let her rip.
All right. The feathers of the bird just fade. I mean, you're already invisible, so the shadows just whisk you in front of it, and you just step out of the darkness right in front of it, just appearing in front of it. Or you're from the side. Place yourself here.
From the side, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I will use my talons as an attack.
Nice.
Doesn't do anything special. It's just piercing instead of. So I get 2 attacks. So the first one is 22 to hit.
22 hits.
Excellent. So that's result that damage, and we'll. Hey, 3. Man,
That's a total of 11?
No. Sorry, I must have pressed it twice, so that it would be 8.
Oh,
not,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Then
Thank
the
you for
other
your
hit,
honesty.
no problem. Then the other attack, not as great.
13 does not hit. Its hide is incredibly hard. Where it isn't an actual spike burst out, it's these hard nodules, almost like warts, and you punch it and it's as hard as a stone.
All right, and that'll be it for now. Like, I'm considering my key points for a little later.
All right. And your attacks are considered magical, being a monk, right?
That is correct. My melee ones, yes.
All right, cool. All right, up next. Now that you have revealed yourself, the what are they called? Belzo, begin to notice you and start to run up and try to get around your monk friend. So these two move in close. These ones start scrambling up the side, only getting about just the top over here, looking around. This goat-like creature. Actually,
Sorry,
it's got pretty quick motion.
they need to roll. They need to roll D10 if they've been affected, right?
Oh, thank you. Yes. 3 of them are. And so 2 of them were 6s. What does a 6 do on confusion?
5 to 6. Creature doesn't move or take any actions this turn.
All right. So these 2 just hang out in the middle of their little toxic glitter orgy. The last, all 3 of them don't move. The very last one clambers up the side of it, and being like a goat, it doesn't lose any movement for difficult terrain in this case. I say even if it doesn't. And so it ends up running up the side and starts looking around and sees you on the far side, all kind of juicy mortals on the far side of that tunnel. But that's about it. It takes a few steps towards you, but it only gets to about here. All right, the dretches. Only one of the dretches kind of follows him and only gets halfway, just to the top of the cliff there, of the crater. And the rest of them, let me see if they move at all. 5. What does an 8 do?
If you roll at 8, the creature uses its action to make a melee attack against a randomly determined creature within its reach.
All right, well, these 2 begin to just bash on each other. Just literally, they've waited for this moment, and they've hated each other in the abyss, and they start wailing on each other, and all the others just stand there like smearing the glitter, toxin, blood, goo, Styx juice on themselves. That takes up their turn. Dang! Confusion. All right. Next up, Archibald. On deck is
Okay, so
Henrietta.
you've been describing the crater, and you were just during their turn, we're describing the crater as being this sort of like, rocky terrain that's hard to get up and down. So I guess like Archie will run towards the edge at first, and then maybe he has to like slow down to like step his way down. I don't know. Sort of.
I would let him get. It's 15 feet down, and it's only about.
Probably do
10
something
feet.
relatively acrobatic to get down.
Yeah, let him roll some acrobatics to see how slick, if he's gonna get in there and mix it up, how slick he wants to be.
Sure.
He does see the
I don't
one
know
that
what
is
his
on the far
acrobatics
side
are.
as well.
He's got probably an extra 4 on that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
just his.
That's enough.
dex
So he
without-
just basically leaps and slides down,
Yeah.
and
so 30 gets him to here.
right up
and
in
he's
the
gonna
base
try
of his.
Yeah.
Right up
Get
in the
all
grill.
here. I will reiterate just for the record that my version of Archie is a little bit different than Jay's, just for simplicity.
21 hits.
Oof. 27. And then he will take a dash action. He gets his free disengage from making an attack. And how far back can Archie get with this terrain?
With that terrain, and he's got. It's got a full dash, right?
It took 30 to get here in like normal walking, so I don't know actually how much it took.
It took 30. Like he basically half leapt down and did this little like
But
almost
back up will be slower, I imagine.
Leapt down and ended in a lunge and stabs this thing through.
Yeah, so back up is probably slower. So
it is back up. It's half movement, but he can get up to the top.
He'll get up to the top. That makes sense. Just like
actually,
goats
even
above
more
the
like
edge.
even more acrobatic. He leaps off of this thing, slides halfway down, leaps off a rock, comes down with the stab, hits the thing and like hits it in the shoulder, plants both feet on its shoulder,
recoils off
and
of it,
goes
back
in
up
like a
again.
spring as far as the blade will go, hits the hilt, and then leaps back off of him in this acrobatic backflip, lands at the base, and turns around and scrambles up the crater.
And then he's at the top, just like goading it. That's the word. not
Yeah,
goading.
exactly.
Come on up here.
Just so you guys know, you those that are confused, you see them confused. They can't take reactions.
Ooh.
Cool.
Nice. Fenris mutters tactically from the back. All right, coming up next, Henrietta.
Hey, Tana, just a quick question.
Fenris is on
what
deck.
about our NPCs? Are they in or?
They're staring at these things, looking at them. You can give orders if you want to.
I don't have character sheet for these guys.
Sure,
so
I'll probably,
they're
as
pretty
Ken,
basic.
call back, like, stay out of this. And I'll take a few steps forward, and I'll continue readying my action.
All right. Ballet and Callum, the two young ones, the young man and young woman, the one of them barely adolescent, both look somewhat relieved at being told to stay back, and Britt's like, right. And then Tiny's just like, no. Well, actually, go ahead and make a... Is there a leadership skill in this? No, there isn't. Go ahead and make a quick persuasion.
Cool.
And they're lucky I'm lawful neutral, or else I would have pushed him into the crater.
Oh, I got a plus 12, and I also got a nat 1. So that's
Nat
fine.
1. So, yeah, the others listen to you, just they don't really want to, but Tiny was not wanting to, so he starts wading towards the edge. Do another d20 roll for me.
Just a d20 roll? Okay.
Yep. We'll add 2 to it.
15.
How much, sorry?
15.
15?
Yeah.
All right, well, Tiny gets right up to the edge right next to you, and he's like, no, like, and he starts to lose his grip and start to tumble, but a 15 is enough. He steadies himself, and you reach out just in time and help steady him
Cool.
as he's standing at the
Stay
top.
behind me.
All right,
Philip
he's
wanna
still
go first?
totally unconvinced. He's like, you stay behind me. All right, coming up next, we have Henrietta, and Fenris is on deck.
Yeah, Henrietta just continues holding her action.
Okay.
It's not a spell, by the way, just to like be clear about. I know you'd lose the spell if I didn't use it, but
No, that's fair.
here it's not a spell, so don't worry
You
about
like keeping some surprises. I appreciate that. Fenris, what do you want to do?
I see that the confusion's really kind of causing chaos, and they're taking care of the Hezru. The one other demon that scrambled up that's pretty quick, he's fairly far away.
He is, yeah.
Just see how
Way,
far it is, roughly.
way
Oh, that's
up
not
there.
that far. Okay, I'm gonna chill touch him.
All
I
right,
cantrip.
go for it. I should get back to my dice rolls. Peoples can see.
24.
Give the peoples what they want. They want the dice rolls. 24 is a hit.
Okay, just double check. Chill touch. So it's 3d8 necrotic, and he can't regain hit points till next turn. Okay,
Nice. Make the damage roll.
15 damage.
Nice.
No scaling cantrips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm just gonna back up a little bit more.
Spoken like a spellcaster. All right. So 15 is this spectral, ghostly claw. It claws at this thing and it bats. All right. Coming up next, the Hezru. It gets a save if I'm not mistaken.
It does.
At the end of its turn, though. Oh no, it gets to roll a d10 first.
Yep. And then it gets to save.
It rolled a 9. What does a 9 do for me?
I believe that it can act and move normally.
All right. Well, it is going to do 2 things. It's got a couple of different attacks, 3 in fact. So it's going to try to grab on to Valerie with its claws. So this won't do damage. You can resist this with acrobatics or athletics. Go ahead. Is that how this works? I should know this. Ooh.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Athletics or
That's
acrobatics.
going to be a 26 is the highest of the 2. Okay,
26.
so the first massive 3-fingered clawed hand just wraps around you and just
And I
starts to
release
squeeze.
my ready to action.
And what's that?
I present the holy symbol on my shield, and I channel divinity.
Nice. What are you gonna do? What
In a
flavor?
30-foot radius from me, all fiends must make a wisdom saving throw or be turned.
Nice.
I can turn fiends.
That's really cool. I did not know that was a thing. Okay. Within 30 feet.
Yeah.
That's not quite the
So
back
I'll
row.
just- No, it shouldn't be.
But
I was
quite a
hoping
few.
if things ran towards it, I could use it later. But if I see Valerie get grabbed, that's enough.
Fair enough.
And it should. Does this work?
One more.
How do I?
All right.
There it is.
Wisdom save.
I did the thing.
And
Yeah, I
another
think
one.
I have 16 because it's yeah, I have
All right.
4 charisma, 4 proficiency.
Okay, so fail. Those are the 2 dretches, 2 bulzos, and the last one there started with the one more dretch also failed. The bulzo, 2 bulzos failed, and the Hezru succeeds with a 19. And so they have to spend their turn fleeing. So
Each fiend that can see or hear you within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail the saving throw, it is turned for a minute or until it takes damage. Turn creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it can. Can't willingly move to a space within 30 feet of you.
all right, so
It's interesting because they're also confused.
yeah, it's true. Oh boy, I don't want to have to mark them all. Just the very back row is unaffected.
For
and
its
the
action,
Hezru
it
is
can
not.
use only the dash action or try to escape from the effect that prevents
Nice.
it from moving.
Nice. All right, I love the image of you standing next to Archibald with the blazing sunblade in his hand, just like a bolt of heaven,
And I
hanging out in
hold up
hell.
my shield, and the symbol just starts to like
The
glow,
light
yeah.
from the sunblade bounces off and like scatters right into all their eyes. The toxic glitter making them hiss and catching the light. It does as they shudder. They don't move yet, but what they do is they shudder, and you can hear this almost like nails on a chalkboard sound emanating from any of those creatures that are covered in this toxic glitter. This as they shift a little bit. All of you kind of cringe, and then there's echoed by this thrumming. Anyway, we'll get to that.
All right.
So it's still its turn.
All right, it's still its turn. Its second attack did, however, hit as well, I believe, with a... Oh, wait,
I
hold on, let me
believe I
check.
interrupted it, and it must now flee.
No.
That was my intent.
But
well,
the
it
Hezru
did get-
succeeded.
Yeah, the Hezru succeeded. So it
Oh,
didn't...
okay, great.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
So its second attack would have been a 17 to hit Valerie's AC.
18.
Nice. So you bat it away with your, you counter punch it as it goes in. You're just like, whack! You hit its fist and it just glances off just above your head. All right, and it's going to take its last attack. Its bite.
Was the grapple just a grapple, or was it?
Yeah,
also
the grapple was just a grapple. The second
It
one.
doesn't restrain.
Yeah, it grapples. It grappled him so he can't move, and then took a swing at him with its claws and just got punched away just in time with this well-timed uppercut. And then it's like, and it just starts stuffing you in its mouth, or trying to. Let's see if it succeeds. You are grappled but not restrained, so it's not with advantage. I think that's how
I don't know. Great.
And I can't see that roll. Oh, 15.
Nope.
You plant both feet on both sides of his massive tooth-lined mouth and just stop it from stuffing you in there. Your wings kind of flapping to kind of keep you upright as best you can against the force of its claw. It does not successfully bite you. All right, next.
I got this, guys. I got this.
This giant frog trying to eat a bird. All right, coming up next, we have the Dretches, most of whom are all messed up right now. I think there's only...
Oh, it can roll a wisdom save, right? To try to get out of the confusion?
Oh, that's right. Thank you. Does a 20.
Yeah.
All right. So it is no longer... The Hezru is no longer confused as its eyes clarify its prey within sight. All right. It is still... it is now the Dretch's turn. Most of them stand around either confused or fleeing, but I'll just see how many of them turn and flee. Okay, one of them just, this guy back here is still so angry at the other one, it's still attacking that other one that it's right next to. But all the other ones just, what's a 4 do? I think they just stand, right?
A 2 to a 6, they do nothing.
All right, so Those ones just stand around and do nothing. The Bilzoos also stand around and do nothing.
But they can roll saves now.
Yeah, they can.
Todd,
Yeah, what's up?
I'm just curious. I went before them the last round.
Yeah, we're at the
And-
very bottom. They're level 1. They're 1 on initiative. You're next. Sorry, I should call out who's on
Is-
deck. So Darmita's on deck, followed by Valerie. And
There's
Valerie
a
and the
few
Bills.
waves of demons, yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Only I think the back row gets any kind of. Actually, no, they're all confused. Yeah, they're all confused. So it's just these two little guys at the side. So they start booking along the side, gibbering and howling. This one hops down off of it, trying to grab onto Valerie from behind, like literally launches itself off the crater. That Dretch tries reaching out for Valerie in the air. It's gonna try to attack and just harm you. Where are my Dretches? Where are my Dretches at? There it is. All right. Okay, a 14 doesn't hit Valerie, but a nat 20 brings it to 22, so that's going to hit you. And that's going to be its claw attack. So that's going to do 8 damage as it just slams into you, and the claws just rake down you as it slides down and then falls off and hits the ground below. You slowed its fall, though, so it doesn't take damage. This other one has a heck of a lot of movement, 40 feet. So it was here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So the goat-like creature is just hissing at Henrietta, Tiny, and Archibald. Just on the edge of the brightest light, it kind of hesitates to run in there. Actually, it ran out of time. It will... Actually, you know what? Yeah. It bends down and does a dash action to do a standing leap. So it literally leaps up in the air and moves 20 feet. 5, 10, 15, 20. And lands right on the edge, almost like ignoring the edge of the difficult terrain. Just lands right next to Tiny and Henrietta. Right in your midst. All right, that's their turn. Coming up next, Darmita. Man, that confusion is clutch.
Okay. I will attack. Waste more.
You gotta.
All right.
What are you attacking? The Hezru?
Yeah, the same one.
Okay, it's shifted a little, and Tiny's kind of in your way, so you're gonna need to move about 5 feet, either closer or to the side, just to get a keep line of sight on it.
Okay. I will go over here.
Sure.
17 and wow. I'm rolling poo-poos.
All right.
And then second
17 on the bet on it. The Hezru does hit.
Nice. And a crit.
Oh,
one and a crit.
nice. All right.
So I crit my
You roll it, right? Your D8.
it already did, but do I crit my the hunter's mark?
Yes, you do. You roll it. Oh, keep rolling ones on it though.
Oh,
So
33.
Thank you for the math. I appreciate that.
yeah, like before I even start calculating, you're done, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
This is why we like having mathy people at the table. All right, thank you. So the crit just takes it one of its eyes. It blinks, its eyes lids going sideways, around the shaft of the arrow, and it just kind of shudders a bit, but it's still standing.
And I'm gonna take the rest of my action to kind of move back here again.
Sure.
Hopefully a little bit obscured by some dark.
And also tiny. 7-foot tall human standing next to Henrietta. All right, that was Darmida. Coming up next, we got Valerie and the Belzul.
All right, so got a question. I know I'm engaged.
Sorry, I almost forgot. I just want to resolve this real fast. Almost all of the creatures saved out of their confusion. That's what that.
Yeah, I noticed.
Roll the 14, 18, 18, 17, 19. And the 6 and the 5. So 3 of them didn't. So I'll just say.
A lot of them are still turned, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember, keep that in mind.
Yep.
Okay.
So I'm grappled, right?
You are grappled, so your movement is set to 0.
Would that still count for Shadow Step, where I can teleport?
No,
You
teleport
see
does not get interrupted by that.
All right, so I use a bonus action and teleport right beside him on the other side.
Absolutely. That's why monks. Ugh. Who
And
let
then
monks teleport at will?
I'll do 2 attacks.
All right, make your rolls,
So-
man. That's awesome.
Well, I have something. Don't necessarily deal much damage. All
Is the Shadow
right.
Step a bonus action, or is it something?
That was a bonus action. Yeah.
Okay, so you don't get your extra.
No, I don't get my extra attack, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
All
you
right,
bamf
so
to
that-
the other side of him. His arm's now empty. He's just looks confused and angry.
Sounds like
So-
that's worth advantage, Wing.
yeah. Well, I
Sure.
do have advantage. That's what Shadow Step does.
Nice, good.
So
I probably would have given it
26.
to you. 26 hits.
All right, so let's do that. That goes 8 damage.
If it counts, man.
Then I'll go my other attack.
Looking pretty hurt at this point. That arrow to the eye.
22.
22 hits. You're just pummeling this thing. You're tearing off bits of its skin as your claws
And 10
rake at
damage.
your talons. 10 more damage.
10.
Oh, nice.
And if I choose to move, does he get an opportunity attack or?
He's not confused, and he is not turned. So he doesn't appear to be. The other ones are shuddering away from the light that pulsed out of Henrietta, that presence. This one does not seem deterred. What do you want to do?
Would he get an opportunity attack if I moved?
He would. Don't move.
Yeah, he would. I'm just trying to goad you into moving.
I won't move.
All right. You
could
got
pivot
enough
around him if
combat
that's
training.
mad if you want to do that.
Pardon
You
me?
just can't. You could pivot around him if you want to.
No, there's no point
between you and the
pivoting
others.
around. It's just that try and get out of danger, really, then
Yeah.
repeat the action.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah.
All right, so you stay put. Coming up next, we have Archibald. Oh, sorry, the Bullzoo. This one actually grabs on to Tiny. It looks at Henrietta. It looks right
No,
at you in
Tiny.
the
Didn't he just get
eyes.
here? Wait, didn't he just show up?
It's his turn again, though. Oh no, so that was the Dretch's
No,
turn.
he just ran over. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it goes on 17.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they
the other
went
ones were
early
all
last
flat-footed
round,
at
so.
17, and so this one ran and then did this leap to get there, and it's turn.
Right, but you did that right before Bella. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I should have resolved it a bit earlier, but yeah. So it looks you right in the eye and mutters something. Do you understand Abyssal?
Do I?
Yeah. Well,
No.
does Henrietta?
I mean, I do, but Henrietta doesn't. Yeah.
Nice.
But like, no, he just went. Like this will be their third turns in Darmida's.
They
two,
they
right?
have
like,
40 feet of movement, so the last turn they ran and bounced over to here.
Yeah, their first turn they moved up the thing, and the second turn they came over here.
Oh, that's
This is
true.
their-
All right,
yeah.
all right. Coming up next is Archibald.
Okay. Run in here, run back. Yeah, perfect. All right. Archie will, give some pithy farewell and disengage so that they don't provoke attack of opportunity from this guy.
Sure.
And pop down and take a strike.
Sure thing.
Can I let you have all the fun, dear?
Welcome to the party.
You're doing an excellent job keeping them distracted.
Ooh. Even with it,
yeah,
that's only a 14. So the Hezru just brings this elbow back at the right second and just jams his sword into the dirt.
Well, they do not need to score a hit to get their free disengage. So Archie actually doesn't matter. They just took the disengage action. But Archie will come back up. I don't know if he can get full distance or not. I'll probably
he can get back
go
up
for
to the
more
top.
of like over here instead or something.
Yeah,
just
it's a little
because-
bit closer too. So he
Okay, so I keep them distracted again. You don't do anything.
All right, that was Archibald. Coming up next, we've got Henrietta this time, and then on deck is Fenris.
So Henrietta will grab this. I don't remember what specific demon this is. It's like a Gungan or something.
Buzo, this goat demon.
Okay. And she'll just like one meaty hand just like grab it by the neck and shove it to the ground. So I'm basically making 2 attacks, one to grapple, one to shove.
Sure thing. Grapple is contested by its ability. So let's do it.
Yeah, let's resolve a shove first, grapple first. It doesn't matter, I don't think. I mean, the question is which one will I do twice? I think I'll do the shove first. I want to knock them off their feet.
That's as good as I thought it would
Actually,
be.
I'll do a grapple first. I'm doing a grapple. So
All right.
athletics check for grapple. 14,
It does have this feature called sure-footed, which has advantage on strength and dexterity that would knock it to the ground, but it didn't roll very well. So
I didn't roll. I rolled a 14. So
it only got a 10 on its higher die.
So
that
this
was
is
not
just the
enough.
grapple, though.
Yep. So you managed
and
to
now
grab
I will try
it
and shove it down.
Okay. Go ahead. And I think this is another contested, or is this a freebie?
Yeah, it's exactly the same. The idea is that if they're moving to 0, they can't stand up. So that's why I want to do both.
Right. Okay. So it does get to contest it, and it does have advantage because it is sure-footed. It's
Cool.
goat-like
I got it.
hooves, just, and it's weird because they're goat-like hooves, but they're elongated, so they're like gripping the rocks.
So like I've
weird
grabbed them by
fingers.
the throat, then I've like kicked their legs out to knock the rest of them down. I got
Yeah,
20.
but you kick the one leg and it stands quite comfortably on the other. Oh, actually, hold on. It got 18. You got
a 20.
a 20. Nice. You kick the one leg out from under it, and then it's standing like on its one other goat leg, the weird backward knee, and then you're like, and you just quickly sweep the other leg and just force it to the ground, and it's down.
Yeah. So I'm just holding it down with one hand, and I have the shield like as close to tiny as I can, so that I can like protect them if I need to.
Absolutely.
I'm really just holding this one person down.
The goat-like demon with his festering boils opens its mouth, and a bunch of these maggots go crawling out from between its broken teeth, and it looks up at you and mutters to you in abyssal. You guys get to hear me wheeze into a microphone. Isn't this fun?
Good. Yeah.
All right, that's your turn. Unless you want to do any movement. You didn't technically move.
No. I would have. Well, maybe I guess I could drag this guy around if I wanted to.
You could do half movement.
Run their head through the.
We got the horn, right? Get the other hand on there to help
I
steer it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Here.
Okay. All right, coming up next, Fenris.
Can I hit the Hezru?
Do I
have to move up?
You're gonna have to move up, basically next to Jarmida to get
Like
get
that?
line of sight. Yep, that works.
Okay. I'm gonna chill touch the Hezru.
All right. Oh, hold on. Just as you start running up, and as Henrietta does her thing, initiative 10 ticks, and something happens.
Cool. Great.
The boil that was on the side of the broken egg-like, demon creature there, and words are good. It festers and then bursts, and out comes this large, long beak, this pierce through it and causing the rest to just
Mother?
spill out. And you see the insectine head emerge. You've seen these creatures before. A Kazame. All right. There is now a Kazame on the field. Let me see if I have one of those. Don't know if I do. I don't think I do, but I'll just use this weird winged thingy. Which thing has weird wings?
I feel slightly overwhelmed.
It's not this, but this is insectile, so I'm gonna drop it there. And it is, it is large. As this insectine wasp-like creature bursts its way out of that festering egg, covered in toxic glitter, its wings still wet as it comes out and just starts shaking them to get them off. And you don't hear it yet, but actually no, it is its turn. So it does begin its thrumming sound as its wings beat and the flickering toxic glitter flung by the force of its wings. Can I get Fenris and Darmida to roll a dexterity saving throw? This has technically happened at yeah, you didn't have to have walked up.
Yeah, like this is before I walked up?
It's as you
after?
began walking up. So let's move you back about 10 feet and say it happened as you got there. And
okay, so like...
Yeah, right there.
I don't know.
So you don't have to do the dexterity saving throw, but Darmida does.
Is it a dex saving throw?
No, but the toxic glitter is.
Oh, cool.
Love it. That's good.
Well,
Gotta respect those plot points spent by Yaufen. All right. It is basically a 20-foot radius, I believe he said. Am I right? Am I drunk? No. All right. So, Darmida, how'd you do? Oh, dex save 25. You are just fine. You don't get hit by any of the sludge as little droplets rain down through the air, and you just kind of step back a little. All right. Now it's going to begin its thrumming sound, its drone, and now it is Fenris's turn.
what's the radius on? Like, do I have to roll? Like,
You
is
are
it 30
just
feet or 20?
It's 30 feet.
Okay.
So you are just outside of that.
So I would have to roll.
You will on your turn, if you're still there.
Awesome.
Oh man, the Kazme I hate.
Oh, you were just on the edge of 30 feet there, too. You're okay.
Okay.
But you're just on the edge.
Oh boy.
That's square. Wink.
Well, technically, it's from the wings, which would be a little bit toward the back.
Okay, I am going to.
Henrietta's just inside. Not our.
She's just inside.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
I am going to cast. Oh man, I am going to quick cast Blight.
Oh, nice. What's the
So
DC?
I'm just gonna go. So the DC is 17 con save.
All right. It is magic resistant, so.
Yep.
It does have advantage. It rolled a 17. It doesn't have great con either, but it does. A total of 18.
So it saves, but it'll take half
Take
damage.
half damage, yeah.
Okay. Let me just double check how much damage it is. Sorry, guys.
Okay, man.
88.
I keep throwing more enemies at you. It's
Yeah.
gonna take a bit of time. Ooh, and I get to lower my desk.
So it takes. I'm not gonna enhance it. So it takes 19 damage,
Nice. All right, 19.
and with my action, I am going to chill
Right.
touch it.
That was your bonus. Go for it. Yep.
19.
That is a hit.
Okay. Ooh, crappy. So it takes 26 total.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you. And
I'm gonna
you do
back
have a
away
bit of-
now.
Okay. And back goes the sorcerer. All right. Coming up next, we have that was Fenris. It is now the Hezru, and then the other demons. The Hezru is unaffected, and it's got prey within reach, so it's gonna unload on Valerie. How you
Seems
doing
that
over there?
The creatures keep coming closer and closer, and my friends keep going further and further.
All right, it unloads on you with all three attacks. Oh, the claws just you duck under one arm with a 2. The next one, which is like a 9. The next one, 16, also misses you. And at the very last second, you're just thinking you might, and it was just a feint, and it gets its mouth close to one of your wings, just takes a big old bite out of your wing.
Was it 16? Remember, 17?
The 17 plus 7, so 24.
Well, then, you know.
That is going to be 18 piercing damage.
Awesome.
All right. Next up, that's its turn as it's just leaning over you.
We will feed you to Baphomet when we find him.
There's not much to feed, buddy. I'm 4 feet. Mostly muscle.
All right. Coming up next, we have the other demons go off. Most of them turn and flee. I think it was just the back row that didn't. Nope, I'm on the wrong button. So, tons of them just turn and run away. We're talking this entire group right there. Just turns and scrambles up the far side of the
And
pit.
they must take the dash action if this is a turn undead. If that you're or not undead, but
Yeah, this is
if,
the turn.
if that's why they're running, then
Yeah. And they're
they have like 40 foot, so they're like 80.
Yeah, they effectively have scrambled off the other way. The Hezru turns back like
Cowards!
The 2 Dretches and the Kazme and the Hezru are the only ones still on field, unless you guys really want to chase them. All right. And then the Bulzao that is in front of you, that you've got on the ground. Okay, so is it restrained?
It is prone, which means melee attacks are at disadvantage.
Okay.
Or it could try and break my grapple, but that would take an action as well. Also, I don't know if Tiny's taking an action. I don't remember when they went, but they walked
he would
up
be
here
at the
last
bottom,
round
basically
sometime.
the same time,
Cool.
right about now.
All right.
So what's
Great.
Tiny going to be doing to this thing?
I mean,
It'll go off
I
at the same
assume
time.
he's gonna try and like decapitate it or something.
He uses the
Launch
big
the thing
hatchet
down.
and
I
starts
would guess.
swinging. Go ahead and make your roll for Tiny.
Sure. Do. He's got a natural 1.
Of course he did. So
Yeah.
he swings down and takes a... Go ahead and roll a d6. Or d4.
Okay. I mean, I would willfully have him make a second attack roll, and if he hits me, he cuts my hand off or something.
Well, doesn't chop your hand off, but he does hit you and
So I'm
does
holding it there, and it's just
3
I'm gonna
points of
say,
damage, and he
boom.
takes a chunk out of your hand. The
Nice.
hand that's all just a gash, nothing too
Yeah.
permanent, but a little one at that. It just barely nicks you, so it does 3 damage. And you kind of says sorry, and the goat creature spins its head at this weird angle and looks up at you and Tiny and goes in this. It's speaking abyssal, but the voice echoes in your head, and it turns and says to you, "Try as you might. You cannot protect them all." And its voice morphs into that of the hag for a second, overlapping in this confusing manner, and then it lashes out. It is at disadvantage.
Who's he attacking? Who's it attacking?
That is its tail, just its long tail barbed on the end, just wraps around and slaps at Tiny, hitting.
Okay, I will oppose disadvantage.
Yes, you did.
Oh, right, because of the right. I forgot.
Yeah, it's already disadvantaged, so he rolled an 11.
I also have the defender perk, but yeah, I don't need it right now.
Unfortunately, that's that's 15 to hit Tiny. He is standard with a leather apron, so leather armor on. That's AC 12, so that does hit him.
Yeah, whatever their dex is probably nothing.
So he takes 8 points of damage. So he is he started at 10, let's say, so he's at 2 hit points and comes scrambling back, clutching at his side. The barbs pierced his side and left this massive scrape along the side, and you can see at a glance there's this fetid liquid that comes off of the tail and it's just lining this wound as he stumbles back. He's like, "Oh, I'm okay. Just trying to hold his side, pretending he's not. It's but a scratch. But a scratch. All right. Coming up next. The Dretches kind of rush in, trying to parry Valerie because you're the closest to them. This one scrambles up the lip and starts going after Archibald. Does manage to close ranks just and takes a swing at Archibald. Probably not getting him, but you never know. Does a 15 hit Archibald's AC? Probably not.
I don't think so.
No, that seems low for him. Okay. Oh, as it gets up close.
Yeah, it has to be higher. He's got at least armor of some kind, and he has 4 dex. So.
Oh my goodness! All right, the one that closes ranks on Valerie, it opens up its mouth and it just keeps opening, and there's this weird bubble, greenish bubble from deep inside its throat, kind of bubbles out, and then it bursts in this fetid cloud effect. A 10-foot radius of disgusting green gas extends out from the dredge. The gas spreads around corners. It's lightly obscured. It lasts for a minute. Any creature starting there must succeed on a con save or be poisoned until the end of its next turn.
Good thing I'm immune to poison.
Well, then, yeah, you just... no problem. The benefit of having a beak instead of a nose.
That's right.
All right. Coming up next, top of the order. Darmida. On deck, Valerie.
Hey.
No problem.
Oh, Valerie, we really gotta pummel this shit.
Oh, I forgot.
What do you think I've been doing?
Darmida, you need to do a Constitution saving throw. You started your turn within 30 feet of the chasm.
Buzz.
It's like the worst didgeridoo ever. No offense to our Australian listeners. It's like bad didge. It's not good. It's bad.
I think I saved. It depends what the save is.
The DC is 11.
I
You
saved.
got a 13, so you stay conscious. You cannot be, that cannot affect you again. So that's great news. All right.
Got one shot.
Yep.
Real bad if it gets you, but...
Oh, yeah. All right, so you are fine. Do as you wish.
All right. I'm gonna step back over here. I
I guess Tiny is probably also unconscious. I didn't think of that.
Change.
The person going by the name Ballot looks oddly familiar. Anyway, she's standing back there listening to Hen's orders. We'll come back to that in a minute. She's got an idea.
So a 23 and a 25.
23 and a 25. They both. And what are you going after, the Kazme or the Hezru?
No, the Hezru.
Okay, both of
my
those
hunter.
hit.
Which is just my hunter's mark is just freaking biting my ass.
Yeah,
tonight.
it's not rolling 2s and 1s almost all night. All right, what's the total, Dan?
26.
26. So
26.
this Hezru lurches up over top of Valerie and just, having just taken a bite at some, spits some feathers out, and looks down at Valerie. It's just like, the jaw distending, and that's when the arrows just go right inside the jaw, right to the back of the throat, and the whole thing just goes and starts trying to claw at its throat, trying to pull out the arrow, and just gets chunks of its own tongue, its claws shredding, and the thing just turns around, just unable to breathe properly, and just dies. Nice shot.
And so then I'm gonna bonus action because he's dead on my turn.
Yep.
I get a bonus action.
Yep.
Put my hunter's mark on the Casme.
Nice. All right.
And then I'm gonna.
What does that look like? I'm just curious.
What does that look like? I see him just go down and like, and yoink, boink.
You.
Yeah. Wah, over to you.
Nice. All right. Coming up next. So that's Darmida. You want to move at all, or are you good?
Yeah, I'm gonna move. Oh, I gotta.
Gemini_twin said, shenanigans. When the
Darn.
demon dies, the dream world cracks around it unnaturally. As you are hit with a foul smell, you swear you see hands reaching out through the cracks. Random creature or effect, up to GM.
Nice. All right. So as this thing claws at its own throat in like this grotesque way, trying to pull out the arrow that's wedged deep in its throat, it's literally tearing chunks of its jaw apart now. It starts to shred itself, the demon ichor pooling and mixing with the red stuff at the bottom, and it starts to swirl in this red and black ichor blood sticks water mix, and it then starts to go into this whirlpool as though it's draining somewhere, and from within this whirlpool up comes this hand, and then another hand, and the two super elongated arms. They're about 5 feet long each arm. His hands grasp the side, sinking into the water, so you can only just see them for a second, and they splash in, and then you see against the force of this water, this whirlpool, you see a head start to emerge. You can't quite make out what it is yet. All right, we'll get back to that. Thank you, Gemini. Welcome back to the show. All right. Coming up next, where was I? That was the Darmida. It's Valerie's turn.
All right, guys. Where next?
Oh, right.
Well, you have
Thank
to
you.
roll.
Casimir check, please. I believe that is a Constitution saving throw. That's the droning sound. It's like bad dig. They can't cycle the air properly.
All right, well, not bad then.
How'd you do?
16.
16.
16.
That is enough. You shrug off the effect. Wow, that Casimir was useless. All right, you remember the sting of that proboscis, though. You don't
Oh,
want
fuck
that.
yeah. All right, so are we still fighting these things, or have we
I mean, I
the
never
decision?
was.
Have we made a decision? Otherwise, I see hands.
Yeah, the hands are coming up over here.
I'm probably too far away to really see or notice, so
Yeah, sure. I'll shout out something along the lines of like, all right, this is getting ridiculous. Is this just fun for you? Are we done? Right? Yeah.
I kind of usually ignore what Hen is saying in the middle of battle, so
Yep.
sorry, it just I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What do you want to do? There is a dretch right next to you. It burped on
Yeah,
you.
fully aware. Also within range of Casme and.
The demon doesn't seem to be affected by it. Anyway, keep going.
Alright, screw this. I'm gonna go for the Casme. I'll do my bonus action and teleport beside it.
Nice.
And then do two attacks. Hold on a sec there. Alright, let's try this. Natural 20.
Oh, nice. That's a hit.
All right. So again, I rolled damage dice twice, or just double the score.
Damage dice twice.
1 and 2. A total of 14.
Nice.
And I'll attack again. My second attack.
It's just taking hits. Its wings. It's trying to lift off, but it's kind of boxed in against that thing. And you're
18.
You've got wings too. 18's a hit.
All right. 5 damage.
All right. The just blows just fast and furious coming from your monk.
All right, guys, I'm softening him up. Let's go.
You are, man. It's not fresh anymore. All right, coming up next, we got Archibald, followed by Henrietta. Everything else has fled the. Oh man, that turn unholy was clutch. All right, Archibald.
Don't you start within range? Is it 30 feet?
Yeah, his
How's the
movement.
drone?
Oh, the drone is 30
No,
feet. He's
I'm talking
just
about the drone.
outside.
Yeah, 30. Okay.
Yeah, just outside.
Yeah. I'm not actually sure what his con is, unfortunately, but
That's okay. He doesn't need to.
I'm gonna say that he wait, is it can he get to it, or is it like flying?
He could get underneath and stab upwards to it if he wants. He would provoke opportunity from that dredge.
Oh. Sure, he'll finish off the dredge that's with him and then like make his way over, I guess.
Sure. Won't take all that much.
Make an attack, Sunblade, sneak attack. Oh wow, dang, he's off his game.
13. He loses his footing on the edge of the thing for a second and wobbles and just flings the blade out instinctively, piercing the dredge no problem with a 13.
Oh, nice, great, beautiful.
Even off balance, he's like, "This is why I train drunk."
32.
32. Oh, there is no dredge anymore.
Yeah.
It's done. Boom. Just.
I do like the image of him like tumbling down the hill like in that action though. Just like boom, falls down.
Thump,
but
thump.
just like,
All right,
yeah.
he's down at the bottom of the hill now.
Cool.
And
And now he's within the dredge range.
Do an
so
acrobatics
we'll-
check for me.
Sure, why not? Acrobatics, again, probably proficient, but I don't technically know that. It's 17,
Plus
21
4,
he's
let's say.
proficient. Yeah. And
So yeah, he lands
now
on his feet.
Now this is just a flat d20 roll because I don't actually know what his con is, but it is a 10. He would not be.
No, he's okay.
proficient.
You actually have to start
He
your.
probably has at least one.
You have to start your turn there. You did not start.
I
His
think it's
turn.
or enter, but I could be
Oh,
wrong. Either way,
no, it has to start there.
cool. Awesome. Well, he's ready. You know,
All right. So, well, he does. He
already
has
taken his
just
attack,
enough
yeah.
movement to get there. He can go
he's
off.
already taken his attack.
Oh, that's right. So he's just right
Yeah.
up next to this thing. Dusts
yeah.
himself
So
off.
it's- So and
saunters
he's gonna
up to it.
try. Like, can he get to a position where he can flank it for fellery or not?
Yep, absolutely.
Like climb up something, or I don't know.
he can be
I mean,
threatening.
no, Valerie
and
can
still-
fly. So he'll
Valerie
be
can
the
fly
bottom
and be a
part.
diagonal. Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
So the
So
two
he'll
of them are
be-
slowly lifting off, and Archie's at the
Yeah.
bottom one on one side, and Valerie's at the top. All right, coming up next, that's gonna be Henrietta, followed by Fenris. Sorry, Henrietta, then the Casme.
Does this guy? This guy didn't go yet, right?
He hasn't yet. He's gonna go
It's
after.
17. It's 17.
I moved it down
Oh,
just
okay.
after the confusion of when it was going. I just changed
Sure.
its initiative, so it's after you. Don't worry about it.
Okay. I will start my turn within the thing. So I will take a Constitution. I have
Ooh.
natural 1.
Yeah, you fall asleep in
Yep,
a
no, I
dream
love it.
world.
Yep. No, perfect.
At that
I'm so
point,
done with this.
interestingly enough, you gasp yourself awake.
Nice. Love it.
You wake up in the regular world, and the takes a second for your head to clear, and you look over and you see the hag leaning over Darmida, whispering and smiling. You can make out what she's saying. No, it's Darmida, and she's whispering to Darmida. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, time will. What? And it turns back. It turns back and it looks at you. The hag, Mad Maggie, locks eyes and says, "But what are you doing here?"
Did I show you what the helmet showed me? You've got everyone running around a little, playing your games. This isn't what we agreed to.
Well, I want to help you, but you all just keep wandering off. And like I said, it is a mild amusement. What else are you going to do when you're trapped in hell for eternity?
Guess I can't blame you for that. They are certainly curious, aren't they?
I promised you, Lulu would come to no harm, and shall not. Your friends, without help, may not find what they are seeking.
All right.
I can send you back, if you wish.
Send me back. No more distractions. And I'll lie back down.
You lie back down and...
Yeah, I imagine I propped up, right, to have that conversation.
You totally sat up to this. Yeah. She walks back over to you. She gently just reaches out and touches that tiny little cut on your forehead that she gave you last time. Just tracing it gently with her thumb. A little teeny drop of blood comes on it, and she says, "Sleep. Sleep. And dream." And as you fall asleep, you just see her. And then you fall asleep. And you're back on the battlefield, but your friends are doing other stuff in the meantime. All right.
Cool, that takes the turn, totally, yeah.
Yeah, totally. And you're out until they wake you. All right.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That's Henrietta.
How much time passes before Henrietta wakes up again?
Actually, you know what?
I was awake.
Yeah.
Honestly, with all of you guys pounding on this thing, Henrietta wakes up, and a couple of things have changed when she wakes up. Is this okay? You all pile on. I mean, you got the Casimate half health already, so with all of you pounding on it, it is now a pile of ichor.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. You and Archie high-fiving.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Archie high fives you. Totally.
The bullseye that was next to Henrietta is still clutched. Your grip, even in sleep, is still choking this thing. However, Tiny is several feet away, kind of fallen down on his side, his legs kind of just feet sticking out. And he's sitting, just holding his guts. And he's. You look over at him when you sit up, Henrietta, and you see he looks just pale. Super pale, and has got blood coming out from between his fingers, and he looks up.
Can I walk over to him?
Yeah, of course.
And I'm gonna...
Tiny looks up at you, well, only barely.
All right, and I'm just gonna touch him on the forehead. I don't think it'll do much good, but... Second level cure wounds.
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and cast it. Ooh, 7. He took only 8 damage, so the wounds just start to knit up and heal, and he takes a deep breath. The sweat just kind of pouring off his face. He looks a lot better, but he's still really pale. He starts to he smiles. Thanks, I owe you. And you see this little fly from where he coughed out of his mouth. That's no ordinary wound. the Bilzu, as Archibald kind of climbs back up to the top, and Valerie flies over to the top to regroup. The Bilzu that you are holding, Archibald brandishes the sunblade and holds it over top of it, ready to dash it through. Do you want to say anything to it before you dispatch it?
Oh,
Anybody.
you mean me as Archie?
Or as Henrietta, or anybody else.
I mean,
as
if
the
I
group
woke up
gathers around.
before Archie got there, I
Yep.
think I'd just like throw it into the pit again. Be like, "We're done, let's go!" Right?
Yeah.
But
So you
if
throw
Archie
it.
gets there first, he can kill it. Like that's fine.
Actually, you throw it down as Archie's coming up, and it lands at his feet and scramble. Like it's still on his side. And it's
And I've, like, my
still
back's
eyes
turned on
locked
it.
with
Yeah, there.
Hen, and it looks up at you and says, this time in halting common, "Oh, no, you can't. You can't save them all. You can't save anyone." As Archie
You're not
stabs it,
real. You can't distract me.
and it falls off his blade. You guys have successfully dispatched the demons that were attacking part of El Turel.
What about
We put the hands.
the hands and junk? Yeah.
You look over and you see this being standing there, long, stringy black hair, look up at you for a second. This oversized, probably almost 6 feet tall, with extremely elongated limbs, long black hair, very much like that creature that crawled out of the well in that movie, you know the one. But taller and longer arms, and you look up and there's a weird resemblance. You can't quite place it, but long stringy hair, elongated nose. This is a young hag.
Yeah. Say that.
She's not offering any threat at all. In fact, she looks up at you, and when I say young, I mean she looks like an oversized 10-year-old.
Right.
And she extends these incredibly long fingers up towards her mouth, and she goes, "Shh." And she turns around and starts walking away.
I'm going to walk up and try to see if I feel anything, that pull that held us, that kind of tugged us here. Do I sense any kind of difference, any resonance, any type of
There's
feeling of the dream?
you do an Arcana check for me.
$15.
Okay, the strange pull to this place. There's something nearby. It doesn't make any sense in the way that dreams do. But you look down towards that cracked open egg, and in amongst all the viscera, you see a stone? No, an arch. It's a little bit of a door, but not some mystical door. You see this thing, and it reminds you. Wait, it's like part of a pillar, and there seems to be a carving kind of buried on the far side of it. You can investigate it further if you like, but you're gonna have to get into the muck. Maybe.
All right. Yeah.
I'll go with Fenris.
I'll point it out to everyone. There's something more to this.
As Fenris climbs down and before Darmida follows, I want to at least speak to Darmida, even if I don't actually get any closer.
Sure.
Say something I watch as she heals this sort of apparition of Tiny,
Mm.
and I nod at her You may be quick to fight, but you clearly got a heart. And then Fenris calls out.
And
I
I'll
want to
just
make sure I said that.
look at her and go, okay. Like, I'll just give her kind of a nod, and I'll run over to investigate.
Sure. Fenris, along with that arcana sense, and you spotted this pillar of strange out-of-place stone within, you also get the very slight tug. Very slight, though. But it's receding away from you as the hag, the young hag, clambers up over the edge of the crater and leaves off into El Terrell, unless one of you want to stop.
Is she far away? Like,
She's basically, she's probably about 70 feet away by now. She's moving.
oh, okay.
With
Pretty quick.
like, it's very strange. Like, you look and she's there, and then just a second later, she's like further than she should be. She travels this terrain very quickly.
Well, she's probably too far away for me to call out. I'm going
You can call
to...
out if you want to. She's within earshot. You'd have to.
She
call.
is?
Well, in the weird kind of dream logic.
Okay, yeah, I'll call out. Like, if the tug is coming from her, I'll call out. I'll say, wait.
The footsteps stop. She turns her head back to you.
I'm just gonna look at her in the eyes and say, "Who are you?"
Internet, I'm gonna need a name.
It's not Maggie. Interesting.
Not
Nigel.
Maggie. Preferably female name.
Joel.
Nigella.
Nigella. All right, you guys can spend plot points too. I like it. Nigella. The voice calls back is much, much younger than Maggie's gravelly voice. And she smiles, and in a half whisper, she whispers back to Fenris, and the sound carries as though it's right by your ear, just right next to you. Nigella. You know her name.
And I now know your name. Okay.
Or at least what she told you was her name.
Yeah.
But I didn't ask before because I assumed she just looked like a young Maggie, but like, is she like a green hag? Is she a sea hag? Like, what's...
She's got a similar appearance to Maggie. In fact, very similar. But there are differences, not just in age. This doesn't appear to be the same hag.
Right. Yeah, I'm just asking because, like, I assume she's not a night hag because you described night hags previously as like a hag that was corrupted by hell.
Yeah.
And she just got here. I mean, she's also, I don't even know if
She-
maybe she's real. It's a weird dream thing.
Yeah.
She's a dream hag.
We're gonna call her Dream Hag. That's canon now.
Cool.
She's a Dream Hag. All right. So meanwhile, you guys managed to pull through and investigate. Do an investigation check, either individually or with assistance. Somebody. I think Darmita said she was leaping down to get messy. All right, go ahead and make investigation, please. And I think Fenris is helping you. Oh no,
I'll
Fenris is a
help.
bit busy. Valerie,
I'm
can
a
be
bit busy.
helping.
Yeah, I'm a bit busy.
Sure, Valerie will help.
Archibald uses the light sword to carve a bigger hole around this thing.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
The advantage?
Yep, with advantage. 21. You carve back, and it's the base of a stone structure, probably a good 8 feet tall. As Archie carves back a bigger section, it reveals the other side, and it's part of a pillar of a carving from the back, as though it's been swallowed up and dragged here. You go around and you see an arm. It's stone. It's a carved statue. This statue looks very familiar. Henrietta.
I'm not looking. Unless it's like glaringly obvious. I'm just standing there
You've
like,
all
up at the
seen
top,
this statue.
right.
Deep beneath the cemetery. This is Henrietta's grandfather, Lanik Pedersen. The one who carries the helm. And atop it is a slimy but shiny metal helm of the Helm of Pelor's Sight. What do you want to do?
If I'm still talking, is Nigella still there?
Nigella has whispered a name, and then you look back and she's gone.
Gone. Okay. If I see the helm, I'll call out to Henrietta and say, Henrietta, the helm is here.
What do you want to do?
Wipe something on my eye. This is a distraction. This is a distraction. If you want to see how it actually happened, we need to see how it actually happened. If you want to chase whatever fragments Maggie implanted in this memory, that's not what we're here for. Finish what you're doing, and then let's move on.
Okay. I'm gonna go up and inspect the helm, and
cool.
see if it is the helm that is it.
It's a little. You got a good look at that helm. In fact, you had it by Mage
He
Hand.
literally has it with him right now.
Yeah, so
he's been carrying it, right? It's on your inventory, right?
You pick it up and compare the two. The one that you have is cleaner and has a ever so weirdly pearlescent sheen to it when you look at it. It is touched by divine magic. The other one, almost identical, has that same kind of sheen to it, but because it is coated in this ichor and these layers of corruption, it is the counter side. This is the corrupted helm, and so is that. They are one and the same. Two sides.
Can I prestidigitization the ichor off at all, or does that not work?
You just take a second and it sloughs off, and you make it kind of clean and shiny in one spot, and then almost like seeping out of the, if metal had pores, seeping out of it was this just to replace what was there. It is holy and corrupted. You turn back to take in Henrietta, and you feel another tug.
What is the tug doing? Like tugging in a direction, or a tug to do something?
It's literally in your hands, pulling down and to the right, hard. I'm gonna need you to do a strength saving throw.
Strength saving throw. Okay.
You trying to follow the tug?
Yeah,
Or
I was
you
trying
can
to
just
follow
give
the
into
tug.
it. Okay.
Well,
The
it just
helm
depends
that
on
it's-
what
the
the tug
helm
is
that
trying to
you
do.
just took out of your sack or your bag of
Yeah.
You don't have that anymore, but it is pulling like a magnet towards the other one, hard. All of a sudden.
Oh, they're pulling together.
Yeah. It's still on the head of that statue as well. You can either let it go, or let it move to where it wants to move, or you can resist it with a strength saving throw.
I'm gonna let it go.
It just snaps, and it makes contact with this and moves and envelops the head of the statue and overlaps with the other one. And there's this little pulse as the two become one. And there it is, just sitting on the statue. The eye, the helm of sight, of Pelor's corrupted sight. Henrietta.
Yep.
When you first felt that tug of, I know where, when you started telling that story about your grandfather and the helm that guided him, and you came up with that idea, you felt that tug of, it's here. And that's how you knew where to look. It had been a lost item for an incredibly long time.
Okay.
I mean, if the Eye of Pelor had known about it, it would have used it. And it was kind of lost lore passed down through the family quietly. So when you were busy kind of trying to cheer people up with the story, you thought of it, and suddenly you got that pulse, that sense, that beacon. I know where this is. And for that instinct of tracking it was almost overwhelming. And it weirdly was exactly what happened in the catacombs when you first came up with the plan to find it. But it also happened in the dream. And you're not sure which was first anymore. That tug towards the helm is now no longer distant. You gain an ability, which I mentioned at break. You now have the permanently prepared spell, Locate Object. So if you prepared something else, you can prepare it for free now.
Next time I prepare, I'll prepare a different thing. I'm not going to
And-
swap it. Because I do have that prepared.
Right, yeah. And right now, you get a use because of story. You now can tell that that helm in front of you somehow, call it dream logic, call it what you will, that helm in front of you is the helm. It is the corrupted helm of Pelor's sight. And you can add that to your magic items if you wish to take it.
I mean, it's on, like, Fenris has it, right?
Well, it's currently on the
I
head
don't have
of the statue.
Well, I know it's not. This is a dream, right? Like, it's literally in his bag in the real world, right? Now, maybe not. Maybe we'll wake up and we'll check and it won't be there. But as far as we know,
Logically,
Yeah.
from the dream sense, that's where you saw it last. But he pulled it out, and
but like
and
I'm
you
I'm
are
just
sensing
waiting
that
for them
this
to
is
finish.
the item.
Okay.
You no longer have any sense that it's over in the graveyard.
But I do know that that is not, like, this is not how the memory went.
No.
Right. Yeah. So unless anyone like says something, I'm waiting for everyone else because I assume they're doing something, and I feel this pull, and I'm like, okay, that's weird, but I know that's not what happened.
That's right.
I'm waiting, and my intent is that when people are done, I will try to direct the dream, as I did previously, to the location where the helm should be.
Okay, so we do that fast forward thing, but
intent.
not before Tiny. These best
Yeah,
friends.
exactly. I'm not doing that yet. I'm waiting for them to
Speaking of
finish.
Tiny, do we need him?
Well, that's probably. I hope not, because his disease goes by fast forward as well, and he's.
I mean, I'm not
Now-
doing it yet. I'm waiting for.
Yep.
them to
So-
be
he's
done.
he's badly diseased.
So just a question like that. 'Cause I
The healing
wasn't
helps.
paying
It saved
attention.
his life, but he is diseased.
Would an herbalism kit help stabilize any disease, or
I
is
mean, I
that
can
toxin?
literally cure disease if I had any indication. And I guess I'm not in.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not
can
being
take
part
this
of that thing, right? Like I'm not paying attention to the helmet thing. So probably I would be. I would notice.
You can tell
I
that he's
imagine.
diseased, so dream Tiny. He's diseased in front of you, and you can tell that it's a wasting disease. It would eventually take it.
Yeah, so I imagine there is this scene like that's happening parallel to this investigation
Mhm.
where the hen sees Tiny, and I don't know how much he is, putting forward that there's this, something that's wrong, or
He's
he's like putting on a brave face, or what he's doing. But like,
he's sweating. He's almost green
she
at the
looks
gills,
at him,
and it's the
is,
wound
like,
actually has
thinking
these
to
oils.
herself how, like,
So it's only magical curing that could.
He didn't get saved. Maybe I could do something now, but it won't change anything. And I look at him, and I can just see that he's in pain. So I do it anyway. I put my hands on him, and I lay on hands to cure his disease. And I'm like...
And it works.
It's that thing where you're like, rationally, this is... There's no purpose to this, rationally. But...
You see someone in pain.
It's still someone in pain, yeah.
You see someone in pain and you help them. It won't make a difference, my dear. But your heart, you do have. Your heart is in the right place. Hope. One of the rarest commodities in these 9 hells.
He's done down there. Let's go see what happened.
Alright, are you
What
going to leave the
actually
helm or
happened.
take it?
He's not taking it. I'll take it.
Alright.
Or
You
she's not
unstrap
taking
it.
I should say.
It's just a helm. I mean, it's the helm, but it feels almost the same. It's got a little bit of an oil slick kind of feel to it, but otherwise, it's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
put it
what
back
I'm
in your
wondering,
bag.
right, like, you're trying to present it to me as a player that this is the real thing and that this will somehow be the same. I don't know whether or not that's something that Fenris feels. If Fenris wants to be like, here it is, we can have a scene, but I don't think that's how
I
Fenris
think
would
we'll
think either.
decide on
It's
that
up to-
another time because it's starting to get a bit late. So Fenris packs up the helm, wraps it in a cloth, tucks it in his bag, for now anyway, and everybody else readies themselves, and Tiny gathers himself to his feet and looks at you all, and
Say, like, I've just cured this disease, but I'm still looking into his eyes going, sorry, I still can't save you. Nothing's gonna change. And, like, it's this very surreal, like, telling a person that they're going to die sort of thing, right?
And Tiny looks at you and is like, well, thanks, and thanks anyway. And a fly buzzes out of its mouth. Off
Yeah.
into the wilderness. Somewhere on a height, somewhere nearby, a little hand reaches out, catches that same fly, eats it, and you hear Nigella's giggle in the dark. And that's where we're going to stop our game for today.
Cool.
All right. Ooh, it went too late. I'm sorry, guys. I do mean to cut that off about half an hour ago, but we're having a good time. At least I am, anyway. I don't know about you guys.
That's good.
Well,
All right, that was a weird one.
All good, all good.
It's kind of fun to do non-hell stuff in hell.
I just gotta go bring the pups out now.
Although I like the circular patterns of this. This is kind of fun. All right, so much love and shout-outs to Yaofan, Gemini, and all the other listeners, people listening to the podcast after the fact. Thanks so much. Don't forget, we do put our stuff with visuals up on YouTube. So if you want to see some of the maps or our faces, our wonderful emotic, you can tune in and check that out. Otherwise, we'd love a sub or a follow and spread the word if you like our stuff. Take care of yourselves, especially you guys at the table. Like, ooh, getting the grind, am I right? Yeah, so I don't know if I'll be able to do next week. It's looking like it may have to be a slightly later start, but soon with the new basement, I want to do earlier starts.
I can't do later.
Yeah,
I
I
can
know.
tell you that.
Well, we may be able to do like a truncated version where we don't go this late. Something. Anyway, we will cross that bridge when we come to it. Watch the Instagrams and Twitter and stuff, and it's good to see everybody. It's It's been too long. We need to do this more. It's fun to sit down and roll some dice. All right. Well, anybody want to do any parting words? Oh, we need an episode title. Internet episode title, or people at the table episode title.
Not fucking Casme.
What was that?
Not another fucking Casme. God, we hate those.
It did manage to put one of you asleep in a weird kind of way.
No, that was great.
was
What a
fun.
time to get in that one. That was awesome.
That was fun.
We're glad you went there. I was hoping you would.
What did the hag say? Whisper over me again? I missed it. I caught, right at the end, I heard you say something, but I didn't actually get it written.
I would need to rewatch. I'm sorry. This is why I record
Yeah,
the games,
totally.
because I have the worst memory.
I know,
I
right?
listened to it just before I come back here, and I'm like, all right.
Something suitably creepy and
It was-
suggestive.
It was creepy. Suitably creepy? That could be the episode title name.
Imagine the creepiest thing that they could have said. That's what they said.
Fair enough.
I'm just giving the internet time to shit
Glitter.
some random toxic glitter. That was fun. I did like that. I didn't
Yeah,
get
glitter
to
bomb. Was
Yeah,
it glitter bomb?
It did
Is that
attract
the
a Casimate.
episode?
Toxic demon ichor glitter bomb. Nah, that's too long.
Chaos and confusion.
I feel like that's always our title name.
That was a
Yeah.
good confusion spell, by the way.
Yeah, that was clutch.
Yeah, that
And
was
then
good.
followed up
Confusion's
with
really
the
good.
1-2 of the
Oh, yeah.
no, you're running away now. Oh,
Yeah.
that
really kinda
turned
messed it
that
up
whole
for them.
thing
I
around.
was really hoping I could hit the big one. I didn't really think it would work, but would have been fun. Mid strike, just like, oh, let go now, run away. I mean, it wouldn't have been as nearly of an interesting combat.
Absolutely.
It was
So-
like, bye, I'm leaving.
Ciao. No, hey, I mean, I would have come up with something else.
Yeah, more stuff
anyway.
would have been in that egg.
Nah, well, it could have been, or it could have been deep underneath. I didn't want to take you back to the exact same territory, right, where you had that fight with the helmet and everything.
Yeah,
It could have been, but
no,
you know,
it's cool
mix it up.
seeing the what happened, even though this is obviously a little different. I really was enjoying being I would love to know what happened. Let's actually see El Trail fall, as opposed to not being there, right?
Yeah, I thought, hey, rather than just a meteor, wouldn't that be cool if the demons were trying to take it before the devils could get to it by flinging these things loaded up with other creatures to their death? And that's what destroyed part of Eldrael, including the High Hall and your daddy.
So what would be the hell version of Eggs Benedict? Is this, you know what? With the glitter and the egg, this would work.
Eggs
This would
Benedict,
work.
hell version, Eggs Benedict glitter bomb.
I mean, it's like a deviled egg. Spell,
Deviled
right?
egg.
Yeah.
Deviled eggs.
Egg.
Yeah.
Deviled eggs, nice. All right,
Unfortunate they're demons.
I know.
Demon eggs. Ooh, that just sounds like just not caviar you want. I've never actually had caviar. Not that fancy. All right, everybody, be healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you again soon. I'm gonna throw us off the internet now. Get off!
Bye.
Get off my lawn! All right, thanks for watching.
All right.
You've been listening to SideQuest Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons & Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the games. Dungeons & Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games, and again, we are not affiliated with them, and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game, and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. All right, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks for joining us. Take care everyone. Roll on.